Hey guys, welcome to the JourneyCast. We're on episode 17, and today we're joined with our friends BillTheConqueror and Skyler. What's the full thing, Skyler?
Howdy.
SkylerDama? Is it SkylerDama on Twitch?
It's SkylerDama, all one word, on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram.
Gotcha. Well, welcome y'all. How's everybody doing today? What's going on, Bill? How are you?
It's a good day.
It's a good day. Happy Halloween, y'all. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. I forget that it's Halloween half the time today.
So the best thing about Halloween is the day after, when all the candy is half off.
That's true. That's a good
Right.
point.
Just
It's like the day after Valentine's, only
Exactly.
without the heartbreak.
Yeah.
Good one, Skyler. I like that one. That's good.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, what have y'all been playing this week? What have you been doing, Skyler? We'll start with you, buddy.
So for me, I've been obviously playing Destiny, of course, because that's a constant. Trying to catch up on stuff before it's all gone and vaulted.
Mhm.
Other than that, I've been playing Overwatch because Halloween event for Overwatch.
Okay.
Even though it's the same event they've been doing for the past 3 years.
That's okay. Destiny's
But
been
whatever.
doing the same thing.
Yeah, Destiny does the same. I took a little break from Overwatch for a while, so it's actually been fun coming back.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like most
And
games recycle their like seasonal.
I think Hearthstone's the only other game I've been playing lately.
Really? Holy crap! I honestly did not. Honestly did not know that you played Hearthstone. I did not know that. I honestly did not know.
Yeah, I've been playing for a while. Every once in a while, even though I know nobody like on Twitter follows me for Hearthstone, like every once in a while, I'll just be like, "Hey guys, I hit Legend this month." Thumbs up.
So are you a Blizzard fan then?
I was, but not so. I mean, I love their IPs. I love their IPs, but I don't care for their decision making. I don't know how to phrase it.
Developers have kind of broken off and started a different separate company. I can't remember the name of it though.
Did I repeat that?
So a lot of the developers from Blizzard have left Blizzard and they started their own like development company.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So the I think it's ex Blizzard CEO and a bunch of his friends all started a tabletop a games studio, I think.
Okay.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yep.
I haven't played a good tabletop in a minute.
Yep.
I'm not a big tabletop. I prefer my games to be virtual, but that's okay.
Fair.
What have you been up to, Bill? What have you been playing?
What have I been up to? So I've been working on catalysts. I've completed Graviton Lance, Rat King, Crimson, a Colony, and Sturm. All 5 of those.
That's true. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do it, and I actually made a video with Sturm and Drang. Sturm is pretty OP. I mean, if you can use so Drang has Rampage, okay?
Mhm.
You use Drang, and then you can overload Sturm and get these high powered Sturm rounds. I got 28 Sturm rounds once. They do. Oh, dude, I like went ham. I totally went ham on. And so these overpowered Sturm rounds, I did a test in my video on a yellow bar hive ogre. A non-powered round does about 3,200. Sturm round does over 11,000 per shot.
Yeah,
It's like major OP. I'm like, wow, how is that? How is
Time to nut up or shut up.
Yeah,
it's something else for sure.
it's something else. But yeah, so I've been working on catalysts. I played the Warzone Halloween event a couple times. That was actually kind of fun. It's just really intense because you die and you come back as a zombie, and then if you then as long as you don't die as a zombie, you come back as a human. If you die again, you come back as a zombie. You can essentially play the game over and over and over and over and over again, or I should say, play that round over and over and over again. As long as you don't die as a zombie. And then I've been playing with Phasmophobia, which I find incredibly fun, but you have to have the right team. So
Yeah.
That game's great.
it is a good game.
I freaking love Phasmophobia. I've been playing Phasmophobia like pretty much all week except for the past 2 days in VR. And
Okay.
been playing with Rot and Tatsu.
So yes, I have to say that Rot is the one person. So I played with Rot and Anubis, and Rot.
Yeah.
So Rot played his VR set. I'm like, oh, that actually looks kind of fun. Playing Phasmophobia in
so
VR.
good.
That's like that actually looks kind of fun. So yeah.
It's so because like you're like walking around inside the house, and it actually feels like you're inside the house. It's crazy.
Cool.
Yeah. But like for me, since we're like you're in there with other friends, it doesn't like feel quite as scary as like maybe going in there by yourself. So. And
Then just go in solo, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
Obviously.
can, right now at least, you can lay on the floor and the ghost can't kill you either. So that's because they unless it's like a kid ghost can hit you, like it's like your hitbox or
Okay.
whatever.
So if I hear the heartbeats in my ears and I start hearing that sound, if I crouch, he can't get me.
Basically, well, you want to do it like when your light starts flashing, because I think if it's like doing the stuff in your ears, it's like already next to you. So
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fun, and you can also like clip through walls, and if you like clip through the house, you'll just go straight back to the truck.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, they recently tried to they patched like a bunch of stuff, but
Yeah,
it's still
there's a lot of work.
yeah, there's still a bunch that
It's fun though. It's a really good time. It's so silly, but I love that game.
that game blew up. It was made only by one dude.
Yeah,
It's not even like a studio or anything.
Yeah.
No, it was made by one dude. So back last week when I was playing with Rot and Anubis, at the time we were playing it, there were more people playing Phasmophobia than were playing Avengers.
That's,
Good.
I'm like,
super
that's
surprising.
yeah, like that's actually kind of amazing to me. And then as far as it at that time that we were playing, the game it only had like 30,000 fewer concurrent viewers than current viewers than Tarkov.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, we'll see how many people keep playing it tomorrow, like post Halloween.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll probably keep playing it at least until Destiny, because it's just I like horror games a lot, and then this one's really fun. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then played some Fallout 4 yesterday. Fallout 4 used to be my main game back over on YouTube, but haven't played it for a long time. I've streamed probably 7 playthroughs of that game. So,
Jeez.
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to me though, because I don't know. For me, Skyrim and Fallout, both of those games, I still come back to them even now.
Yeah,
Like,
you can. Well, especially because of the modding stuff. Like, I have, like,
that adds a
mod
lot.
pack. Yeah. So I found this program called Wabajack, which is like the staff. I think it's a staff. From
Right.
Shivering Isles from Shiagora.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the app is basically, it gives you a mod list, and it'll auto install all the mods in the mod list for you, and it'll put like mod organizer, and it'll have your load order all sorted out and stuff. So it'll do all that, and it'll even give you the configs for it that you need and all the I tweaks there. So you just copy and paste that over to your game folder, and I immediately had 200 mods ready to go in like 30 minutes. Like, it was nuts.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, super cool. And so like they have different mod packs. So the one I got was the Fallout 4 VR Essentials, and they have different stuff for like Skyrim and Oblivion and stuff as well. So if you're interested in modding some Bethesda games, I would check that out for sure. The only thing is that you have to, for the Nexus, you have to have their premium thing, which is like $3 a month. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to go through
That's not
and like
bad.
manually click everything for all the mods, which, considering there's over 100 of them, could take a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was super worth it, because now I got like crazy looking zombies walking around. I have a pit pad, so like to bring up my I guess pit pad. No, pit pad was a mod. And Pit Boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like to bring it up, like you bring up your arm and then like you move your controller down and like you're hitting a button on it to bring up the screen. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right. Well, let's get into our main topics. So we've had some new stuff come out from Bungie, especially the past 2 weeks with their TWABs. We've had some information about what's some of the changes that are going to be coming in the new season and Beyond Light. So specifically, we're going to be talking about weapon balancing and some kind of player progress stuff. I guess we can go over with the changes to bounties and whatnot that they talked about. I think that was mostly this week, right? Did y'all look at the TWAB?
Yeah.
Yeah. They talked about mostly bright dust changes because people are heckling them about that. Of course, everyone wants to know about Eververse and bright dust.
I saw one person saying, "No, we didn't want you to change the weekly rewards. We still want our Which
so I kind of get it, honestly.
Yeah,
From both
like
sides.
I feel like for like bounties specifically, I feel like if they just got rid of the XP rewards from bounties and let you still get like currencies or some kind of like the extra stuff that you get from the bounties, I feel like that might, or resources, currencies and resources from bounties. So like you still get bright dust, you still get like upgrade
Glimmer
modules,
tokens.
all
Upgrade
that
modules,
stuff.
cores.
Yeah. I feel like that would fix a lot of the stuff with bounties, but
Yeah.
I thought about this. I would like bounties to be more like bounties to be something that you would achieve, some more focused on things that you would achieve during the course of play, not do this thing 9 times. It just seems I mean I go in every day and I do my Banshee bounties because of the cores, but to have a loadout that is sidearm fusion rifle, a rocket launcher, that's like I can't kill anything. I seriously cannot kill it. I mean, I don't do any DPS. What I basically have to do is go into lost sectors and do it that way. I would like
like a patrol or something.
Right. I just or do some patrol. We're out in the middle of nowhere. I would like bounties, like dailies, to be more of things that you would achieve in the course of your gameplay. So.
Yeah.
Or maybe like something more interesting, like kind of like how Spider has those wanted bounties, where you have to that one's kind of annoying too because they're on like these timers and they don't show up. But well, the high level wanted ones, it gives you sort of like a mission where you have to like land on the planet, you interact with the thing.
Yeah.
Like those are more fun to me, and they make a little more sense because it's like you're actually like achieving something where you're like, oh, I hunted down this guy and I killed him. Like, I actually did something instead of, oh, you killed 10 dregs with a sidearm. Here's an enhancement core.
Yeah, here's an exit code. Yeah.
They killed 1,000 dregs with sidearms by now, dude. Like, you don't need this data anymore. It's just a task at this point. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
you're just
I
giving
mean, that's the
chores
thing is
and
that
busy work.
you don't want the bounties to feel essential. And, like, since they're tied to that weekly, like, prime or whatever. Is it a prime? Powerful.
They're
It's powerful.
powerful 2, powerful 1, powerful 2, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess at some point you won't need them anymore. But
Yeah. Maybe I don't like that system either. I'm like, oh man, maybe the whole thing needs to be scrapped. It all needs to be changed. I don't know if I like this engram way of leveling.
But that being said, being told I have to like do a sidearm fusion rifle rocket launcher loadout, it's like, okay, now I have to be a little bit creative, which is good to a certain point. But after the 4th week in a
Right.
row of like submachine gun fusion rifle a grenade launcher, I'm like, this is not my loadout. This is just, okay, I get it, you want me to try new things. I'm kind of pulling things out of my vault, trying to make it all work at once, but okay, I get it. Can we try something new here?
I think part of it comes down to the play it your way mentality, and if you're
Right.
having to do that, then you're not playing it your way. It would be
You're not
better,
playing your way,
in
yeah.
my opinion,
Yeah.
if it was more, if it was just like something to do for like resources, you could do it when you wanted to. So when you wanted to go and like use different weapons and do those bounties just to get the stuff that you
Right.
don't actually need but would still help anyways, then I feel
Right.
like it would be better that way. Because right now,
Yeah, I'm not sure how I
grinding
feel
bounties
about daily
works.
bounties either, or the
Yeah.
fact that they like expire within whatever 26 hours. They give you like a little extra, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
the daily
It's part of
bounties
that
are like they take
FOMO,
15
right?
minutes to do, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But so you're
so-
Skyler.
I was saying,
Alright.
speaking of Spider, his economy is
Oh, yeah,
changing too.
changing.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that one. I don't know. This whole TWAB was very like kind of good but kind of bad. Like
Yeah.
there weren't too many just straight winners or straight losers. I think the only winner was that sparrows are all gonna have fast summon. I think
Oh,
that's
true.
just
Yeah, that's pretty good. I
that's a
like that.
big for me that's a pretty big just net positive. Like
Yeah.
especially with the changes coming to ghosts, you don't want to have to waste one of your like mod things on your ghost with having to have a fast sparrow or whatever.
Oh,
And same thing with your sparrows. You want to use cool sparrows. You don't want to use, oh, well, I could use the one that's an awesome flaming bike so I could be Ghost Rider, but it doesn't have fast summon, so I guess I'm
Right.
just not going to use it.
It's
Like,
not, you can't. Sorry, man.
but, like the dregs are shooting the crap out of you, and you're like, come on, summon.
Yeah.
Right.
You just get killed. Like, pretty lame.
Well, I don't
Yep.
can't even remember the last time I went to the Spider for resources, but I'm sure other people do for like trading stuff.
I only go to him for the 2 cores every day and for Glimmer.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
And I stopped doing the core thing after a while because it's just so tedious landing at a place just to talk to a guy for 2 minutes and then leave. Like, because there's no reason for me to be there besides that.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I go there to Spider each day. I buy 3 cores, and then if I'm close to 250,000 Glimmer, and I've already done most of my bounties for the day, then I go to Spider and I buy resources that he sells for Glimmer. So
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about his like the wanted bounties is that you had to have like those dead ghosts to buy them, which means
Right.
you had to
Right,
like, run around
which
and collect them.
is super stupid. That's super stupid. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Bungie's goals are necessarily in
I
terms
think
of
the
the game.
goal there is just to give you busy work, so you have to do something in the game.
Right. That's the thing. I'm like, I'm not sure. I assume that having players have a bunch of playtime is good for them for some reason. I don't know why that's necessarily good, because that's a pretty consistent theme across most games or MMOs or whatever.
Yeah.
Just any game in general, they want you playing a lot, and I'm not sure why, because I already purchased the game, so I'm not sure what money you're getting out of me from me logging 5,000 hours on Destiny, but you know, I guess somehow maybe there's some like, you know, data there of like the more hours you invest, the more likely you are to like, you know, buy DLC or whatever,
Yeah,
or
like skins and
microtransactions.
stuff.
I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some correlation there. So
Yeah, that and like if a friend sees you playing, maybe he's more likely to jump on and stuff as well.
right, and you might convince people to join and they'll buy it and all that. So
Well-
I suppose there's a reason to keep us around longer, but I just wish it was more rewarding. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of rewards, I've actually found it rewarding that I could run the same raid multiple times in a week on the same character and farm for certain roles on armor and certain weapons. But then that was all kind of thrown away, not this TWAB but last TWAB, when they said, okay, so all the old raid armors is going to have a legacy slot, and all the armor that. And then all the raids that are going to stay are going to have to refarm all that armor to use those raid specific mods. I'm like, I love you so much, Bungie. I love you.
Not only that, but like the only reason I was still doing raids was so that I could get like the fallen mods from Scourge, and now those won't even matter.
They're gone.
So I'm done.
They're gone. Yeah, they're gone. Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
stopped playing as of that.
Yeah, my clan was doing we were just farming the Sparrow runs on Scourge each week just to
Mhm.
hopefully get those fallen mods, and some of us wanted the Sparrow, so whatever.
I got the
But
Sparrow at least, so I'm good there.
I got the Sparrow finally.
yeah, I got the Sparrow as well. But yeah, once we heard oh, there's no fallen mods, I'm like, well, I already have my Sparrow, so I have no reason to do this ever again. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just done with Scourge forever.
I'm gonna play
Yeah.
some other games.
You can go ahead and vault it now. Just go on, just get rid of it. I don't want it. Get rid of it.
Well, they also did say, I guess Luke Smith confirmed in like an interview kind of AMA kind of thing that all the armor that you have in your collections, that's all
Yes.
you need for transmog. You don't actually have to have it.
You're gonna be able to transmog it and all that.
Yeah. So you don't have to have it in your vaults or in your inventory.
Yes. So my 2019 Solstice armor is coming back
Hell
on
yeah.
some set that I'm getting. That is my favorite armor set ever. It just looked good on all my characters.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the Hunter cape, like the way it is. Oh, dude, I was praying like, Bungie, please. This is all I want. Just let me wear my 2019 Solstice armor again, please.
I'm worried because people were saying that it's only gonna apply to like regular legendary stuff, so it might not apply to seasonal stuff. And I'm like, does Solstice fall under that? Because if it does, then we might not be getting it back.
That would be unfortunate. I would be sad.
Which would really suck, because obviously the Solstice sets are some of the best sets, and most of the Solstice grinds are always too grindy. They're way too grindy just to get glowy armor. And the I don't know if it was like 2 times ago or the first time or both, where they gave us the Solstice armor and it looked amazing, and then right after, it was the first set, because right after that they released Forsaken, and then that armor became completely irrelevant because it was it was 1.0 armor, and then all the 2.0 armor was just superior in like every way.
Well, they gave you a set of 2.0 armor. It was like the first 2.0 armor set, but it was
right. But it was with the worst stat rolls. It was like they were like 46s. They weren't even 50s. Like
it was
they were unusable. They were so bad. They were the worst armor. I'm like, dude, I'm wearing this literally for only the first mission where I watch Cade get shot, and then I'm putting on spoilers, I guess. And then I'm putting on blues like right after.
It's like, oh yeah, this just in, Cade dies, just so you know, if you haven't figured it out.
Yeah, just so everyone here is aware. I don't know if anyone didn't know that, but he does in fact get shot by someone.
Also, the moon's haunted, so just want to throw that out there, since it is Halloween.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I just lost you, John.
You lost me? I'm still here.
You're back now, okay.
I think I got like a
Okay.
warning thing.
There you go.
You're both still good for me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's talk about hand cannons. You're a PvP guy, right, Skyler? How do you feel about these hand cannons?
Yeah.
So 110s or 120s
Yeah.
and 150s or 140s, except
All
for
right.
Sunshot.
So,
Except for Sunshot.
sorry. Say that again. You cut out a little bit for me.
Well, I was saying 150s are now 140s minus
Yeah.
Sunshot. And I guess we still
Yeah.
have
So that's
180s.
Yeah. So there's a few hand cannon changes they did. So all the 150s are becoming 140s, which, well, there's two. So first of all, they're not only just becoming 140s, which lowers their obviously lowers their time to kill, but also the frame is changing. They're all changing to adaptive frames, which means because 150s are lightweight frames, which gives you not only faster running speed, but if you're a hunter, it gives you more mobility towards your dodge cooldown, which actually is a really like big point that kind of gets glossed over. Like that was one of the reasons spare rations was one of the. I mean, apart from the fact that spare just had insane stats and a good perk pool, but also spare gives a +2 agility buff, which is great. But yeah, so all the 150s becoming 140s. I think, obviously hand cannon enthusiasts are not happy about that, but I think it's a good change. Because in my, at least in it's my opinion as a D1 player, back in the day the common archetype was they were 140s. We didn't have RPM, but the common hand cannon was Ace Luna, Palindrome, Hawkmoon, Thorn, and those were all 140s because they all shot at the same pace as Ace Luna, which is Offstringer in D2, and Offstringer is a 140, so you can just put the two and two together there. They were clearly all 140s. And it's supposed to be about rewarding you for pacing your shots and taking your time, hitting your headshots, all that. And hand cannons have all the other benefits of they're great for peak shooting because they do so much damage per bullet, and you don't have to like. I know for some people they're like, oh, they're hard because you have to hit your shots, and I'm like, no, they're a lot easier because you only have to hit like 3 shots instead of like. I mean, autos are easy to use. Don't get me wrong, autos are easy to just shoot at someone, but if it's one auto against another auto, it's about who hits more headshots. Unless you got shot first or whatever, but it's usually about hitting more headshots, which means you have to land like 9 shots in a row of headshots compared to just 3 headshots with your hand cannon, or 2 even, depending on archetype.
Yeah.
So, but regardless of saying hand cannons are strong, just I think them being 140s is a good change. Leaving Sunshot as a 150 is kind of weird, but
weird.
I guess good for Sunshot to be a little more different because it's a pretty ignored or underused weapon. So I think giving it a chance to sort of shine in Crucible is a nice opportunity for it. It obviously has use in PvE, but even there it gets ignored a lot because
for sure.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to make stuff blow up. So
well,
you don't
was
really
using
need it
for my to get Luna Tower recently, and so
yeah.
I mean, it still works pretty well, but like it's just not it's not one of the top tier hand cannons that you can use right now.
Yeah, I mean it has good, like on paper it has good stats and it has explosive rounds, so like it has all the makings of what should be a good weapon. It's just there's just something about its recoil pattern that's kind of off.
Yeah.
And it just I don't know, it has no damage perks, I guess, right? And that's what you're always looking for.
The likelihood of 2 guys on the enemy team standing right next to each other is pretty low.
Yeah, it's not very good. Yeah, so the explosive rounds doesn't really give you multi kills. It just gives you better damage fall off because the explosion part of the damage doesn't care how far you are, unlike the bullet, which has damage fall off depending on your range. Yeah. Although with 150s becoming 140s and the buff they're giving 140s to have better range, that explosive perk isn't really going to help Sunshot because we're all getting better range now. So
yeah, well, I really like Ace of Spades, so this works for me.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah, Ace is gonna be good again.
yeah, Ace will be good. So Skyler, what do you think about the difference between a Sunshot with the catalyst and without the catalyst?
I think the weapon is kind of the same in what it does. The catalyst gives what? Does it just give stability, or does it give stability and range?
So I'm looking right now. I believe it gives range too. So I was just thinking that, like,
Okay.
if you can get a 150 at range, that's pretty darn good, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it has everything on paper. It has everything you need for it to be a good weapon.
Right.
There's just something, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm sure there's some people who use it and they're fine with it in Crucible, but I find personally there's just something about the recoil on it that's a little like weird, sort of finicky.
Okay.
And like, I don't know. When you're in a gunfight, you want a weapon that you have a good handle over. You don't want to be like struggling to see what you're shooting at while it's kind of bouncing all over the place. But
well, okay. So according to Dim, the Sunshot that I have with the catalyst, range is 74, stability is 68, and a recoil pattern is 100. So
right. Yeah, that's the weird thing, right? Is a lot of the guns, when you look at the recoil direction, they have really high recoil direction, which means the gun should be staying basically in the same spot after every shot, with with a little bit of the stability rate to go up or down. But I mean, generally, it's gonna stay pretty centered. But I don't know. That's something that I like about Destiny, and it's kind of weird when you're trying to tell people, oh, use this weapon or use this weapon. It's like, it feels like the guns all sort of have their own like character to it, where even though like you can look at the stats on paper and you're like, okay, yeah, this is how this gun should perform, but like when you're actually wielding it, there's just something, I don't know.
okay.
Well, and you can't. I mean, it's
All behave the
put,
same,
like,
even if they have
targeting
the same
acquisition
stats.
or Icarus grip on it, right? Because it's an exotic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's mods and barrel perks on other guns and all these other things that can affect how they feel in your hands and all that.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, Sunshot, I think it has a good. I mean, people are saying it's probably going to be the best hand cannon. I don't think that's going to be the case in the end. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. Like, it has the fastest RPMs, it has the fastest time to kill. And I'm like, maybe, but
well, that being said,
Thorn still exists.
I was gonna say I have died a lot to Thorn and Crucible. Thorn is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Thorn is brutal, dude.
Yeah, Thorn's gonna be. So the thing is, so with this change of it being a 140, and so first of all, it's gonna get a bigger range buff from being a 140.
Right.
And then secondly, it's gonna get like a impact change to be a 140, which means now it's always gonna be a 2 headshot, 1 body shot kill. No matter your resilience level, if someone lands 2 headshots, 1 body shot with the poison tick damage, it'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
which is a big buff for Thorn.
It is a big buff, and then for you controller players and your freaking last word, just saying,
Oh, last word. Oh, last word. Why didn't they could have just left it alone. I don't know. It was too strong on PC or whatever, but I'm like, I don't know. Change something else. This is not what we asked for. It's kind of to your point earlier, John, you're talking about how they want you to be able to play your own way, but with last word you can't. Like, it's you hip fire and that's it. You get no choice. Like in the past, I used to ADS with it half the time, like more than half. I would say like 2/3 to 3/4 of the time.
It worked the same way in D1,
I hip fire.
It was definitely like better used in hip fire. I mean, it's still that, like, you use it if you want to use a hip fire weapon kind of idea. But
by the end of D1, but in its original iteration in D1, there was no difference between hipfire and ADS, and then they changed it to give you only bonus damage on hipfire, but there was a glitch where it still worked while ADS anyway. so you could still ADS with it, And then they fixed it again, where finally you weren't getting that bonus damage. You had to be hit fire to get the bonus damage, but it still had a good time to kill.
I don't think I ever used it until I was doing that chaperone quest in D1. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of missed that. See, I don't know. This is where I have like some controversy, because some people, they hate those kind of quests, the ones that are like ones where it's like that. It gives you that punishment where like if
you die, you lose progress.
You lose 2%, but if you get a kill, you gain only 1%. And I love those, because I'm like, oh, this is like an actual challenge. Because every other, bounty or quest or whatever, it's like, oh, just go kill some dudes in some story mission. Like, yeah, obviously we can do that. Yeah. Or never do patrols, do the ones where it's like a enhanced version of a strike. I'm like, I kind of like that a little bit, because at least it's different. And that's also
I mean, like, the only thing for that is that you just got to be aware of like the situations you're putting yourself in. You just can't run out and like try to go be the hero all the time. So you just
it makes you actually think while playing Crucible.
Yeah.
Instead of just whatever, just mindlessly running around. I mean, because I'm guilty of that too. Even though I'm a PvP guy, like plenty of times I play and I'm just mindlessly aping people. I'll be perfect. I'm not thinking really. I'm just I die and I come back to life and I'm sprinting already. I'm like, who am I gonna shotgun? Like that's what I'm here
for. It's like Bill and his shoulder.
Then I'll trade and I'll be like, get all mad because I traded, and then I'm just doing it again as soon as I come back. I'm not learning from my mistake at all.
No, yeah. Well, what's the point of that?
So I heard my name, but then I didn't hear anything you said after that, JourneyJohn.
I said it's like
me doing what?
And his shoulder charge.
Hey,
this is right. You can do the same thing with shoulder charge.
My shoulder charge has won me many matches in Crucible. Just saying.
Dude, like my favorite.
Whatever
moment,
works, man.
Like, as a hunter, is whenever I like sidestep a Titan that's shoulder charging and I melee him in the back and kill him.
That's right. I've seen that happen a few times. To me.
My personal favorite is knowing someone's following me. Whether I don't know, it depends if I saw them or if it's just radar or whatever. So I run into a room, and then since I had to mention this because I'm a warlock main, so I'll start floofing over the door with my shotgun out. They'll run in and they're just looking around like, yo, where's this guy go?
Hi.
In the air and just drop down and pick up all their ammo. Easy. And then I just run away.
So basically you're one of those mind bender guys.
I mean, I would be if I ever had a good one, but I never did.
Okay, really? Dude,
I had one okay one. It had snapshot quick drop, but it had like a bad barrel and didn't even have accurate on, so I deleted it. I probably shouldn't have, but I deleted it.
I got the god roll for that. Obviously, it's not like the best PvP because you want like the quick draw snapshot stuff, but I got the god roll for that. My first nightfall for that strike. the first time.
This is one of those where I'm like, you want to send it to my account? Oh wait, that's nothing in this game.
So you're that guy, John, aren't you? You're that
Diablo
guy.
Again, right?
Yeah, I had to make do. Big air quotes with Dust Rock. Oh no. Oh no, I had to use Dust Rock instead. Oh no.
And now
what a shame. I had to use Luna's Howl with it. Oh, the horror.
Oh, what's even worse is using Mountaintop.
Oh no. No, I don't. Maybe once in a million years I'll bust it out just for memes or whatever. But
that's a lot of fun, right?
Oh. Well, okay. So back on patch notes. We talked about patch notes, right? So that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Mountaintop receiving 33%.
Yes, so they are nerfing it.
Reduce velocity and reduce in-air accuracy. So like we talked about. I mean, I'm sure everybody at some point has talked about what they would like to see for Mountaintop. But one of the things I mentioned was like reducing the velocity so it's easier to like get out of the way of. So I'm glad to see these changes. What do y'all think?
Say that again? That last part?
Reducing the velocity so it's easier to like not get hit by. Yeah.
I think the changes they're doing to it are good. then that combined with the sunsetting of it we're gonna see a drastic reduction
Oh, yeah.
in how much mountaintop you see. I mean, half of us are probably just gonna dismantle it straight out because cores. But yeah, I mean, I think it's been a long time coming.
No
It's been
joke,
a
dude.
long time
Oh
coming.
my god.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the number of times I'm like, it's a hunter in the air jumping at me. I bet he has. Oh, yep, he has mountaintop. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lightweight weapon too. Did you know that? It's great.
What?
Yeah, mountaintop's a lightweight weapon. You get to run faster and get
Oh,
plus two
that's
to
why-
your hunter cooldown.
That's
Isn't
why
that
all
nice?
those freaking
So
hunters
nice.
all crush the mountaintop. Ugh.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. But that's why they had spare benders for hunters, and now they have just any mountaintop build,
Mhm.
with gnawing, because that's
So
popular option.
the only thing more annoying than mountaintop is mountaintop and recluse. Thankfully, both of those are being sunset.
But right, yeah, they're both going away. Recluse got its nerf earlier, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Like for me, I
yeah.
feel
Oh my
like,
god, Recluse was insane back
Yeah,
then. Oh my
yeah.
lord.
Yeah.
like
It
I
was
feel like
actually crazy.
the times that Destiny PvP is at its best is whenever, because I don't like the fact that, like, if you don't use a specific weapon, if you don't use mountaintop or recluse or whatever, like,
Then you lose.
yeah, then you're losing. I
Yeah.
prefer it to where it's more dependent on the situation that you're in. You have the better weapon, and I feel like that's one of the things that year one of D2 got right. It got wrong in the fact that it had 4v4 and there was a whole crap ton of team shooting going on in year one.
Yeah.
But I feel like the weapon balance was actually pretty solid. Where now it's like there's almost no point in running an SMG. You just you're either running a sniper rifle or a shotgun, or especially unless Aerontil I guess would be the only standout fusion rifle. But
So
Oh no, Aaron Till.
Aerontil. But I
horror.
have seen a lot of people have success with the Ikelos SMG. That
Mhm.
seems to be a growing thing in certain situations.
But there's still not really any reason to run that pretty much in any situation, I would say, over something like Fellwinter's.
Okay.
It's more of
Yeah.
trying to do something different. Not that it has any tactical advantage at a specific range or anything.
Right.
Yeah, so it's the Bungie's done a lot of different sort of changes in their direction or philosophy over the years, because like you mentioned year one of D2, and they had that whole 4v4 team based double primary, it was very team oriented, and it's kind of at odd. They have two sort of conflicting ideas they want with Destiny, which is on one hand they want fantasy fulfillment and for everyone to feel individually powerful, or oh, you're this whatever, they have a very specific thing they're always going for, oh, the hunter is this jumping gunslinger sort of person, and then you have the warlock with the space magic, and then the titan with the the fists. So each class has its own identity and a sort of power fantasy fulfillment. But then at the same time they want you to they want to try and foster community, which is good, and they want people to work as a team to accomplish raids and stuff like that. But I think they took it a step too far with D2 year one, especially, where it's just the PvP was all team oriented. You couldn't really run off on your own very much. If you tried to run off on your own, you were fighting three guys. You were not fighting one or two. It was always you're against 3 dudes or 4 dudes, and you're just gonna lose because you don't have there's no weapon that can just one shot somebody. You can't even odds.
That was a good thing about the special stuff coming back with shotguns, sniper rifles, with the special ammo economy kind of revamp.
Yeah, and so then they brought back special weapons, and they're giving you a little more what's the word I'm looking for, agency, where you can sort of do your own thing.
Yeah.
But I think because there a lot, as much as I like community in Destiny, and that's something that I think is great about Destiny is like the the bonds and friendship that people forge over this game. At the same time, there's a lot of solo players, and obviously you can't always be playing with a fire team. Sometimes people are at work, people are in different time zones. We have all sorts of other things going on. You can't always have somebody. So sometimes you just want to play on your own, but you don't want to feel like you're being punished for playing by yourself. It's supposed to be, at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a game of leisure. So you should be able to just do some things on your own without being dependent on everybody. So I don't know. I think that was a philosophy change that they've been like sort of moving away from. You see it in the raids too. A lot of the mechanics were like very. You had to have team communication and stuff, which I think actually is still kind of a thing.
Like, especially in the more recent raids, like you can't just have like two dudes that are just there to like shoot guys. Like everybody has like some kind of mechanic that they have to worry about.
Yep, agreed.
I'm kind of the opinion that, and then also to kind of tie it back to PvP, they've sort of been doing metas now, as opposed to like in the past where they just kind of like they just make all the weapons and they're like, here, go do it, and then if something gets too powerful, they nerf it. These days it's more like they're doing metas where they're like, oh, these are going to be the strongest weapons, so go ahead and use them, and then when we want to change the meta, we'll nerf something or buff something else, and then that's what'll foster change. I'm not really sure I'm a huge fan of that way of doing things.
Okay.
Because it kind of creates what you talked about, which was that whole you have to use what's good, or else you're at like a huge disadvantage. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would say they've been doing that with PvE with the artifact mods, and that you have to use specific weapons for like anti-barrier or like just for like dealing with champions and stuff. And then there's also elemental affinities that you have to deal with as well.
Right.
So some of that stuff they're changing. With like the weapon mods are now good for all the different armors, which is thank God for that.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a good. I understand that they're trying to like do this whole seasonal model, and so you gotta give some incentive for the artifact and stuff. But I think you don't want to be too heavy-handed with it, because then I don't know. Especially because they're technically making the game free to play. At least like Forsaken and all that. So you do want to try and draw in some of that crowd from the free to play side. Even if they never end up buying the season pass, I think just having more eyes on the game is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like Fortnite, for instance. Like tons of people play Fortnite, and I'm sure there's a big chunk out there that doesn't buy the season pass because whatever, they're just kids playing it, or maybe they just play it every once in a while with friends or something like that. But I think the more eyes you have on it, the more you have people talking about your game. I think that's a good thing.
So what do y'all think about this falling guillotine nerf? So reduce heavy attack by 24%.
A guillotine. Yeah. See, the fact they nerfed that does not bother me, because if it's pretty much to the point where in most raids and most group activities, if you don't have a falling guillotine that has whirlwind blade and relentless strikes, it doesn't work. And I think the fact that they're nerfing that is fine, because there's value in other swords like Temptation's Hook. I need to work on the casting part of that sword, because I cannot tell you the number of times in PvP I get smoked by people with Black Talon, from cross map. Oh yeah, you aim really good with a sword that has tracking. Okay, then apparently I need one of those swords too. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, Mr. Handheld Supernova
No thank you.
cross map guy.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, I barely use that class. Even though typically I tell people use what's strongest, use whatever is the best thing. Don't hold yourself back, especially if you're trying to win something. Like if you're in whatever like comp or trials, especially. Don't. There's no need to just frustrate yourself by not using like the best tools in your hands. But despite me saying that, I did not use that class for a very, very long time. I used it when I was trying to get my Not Forgotten, just because you have to use Luna's How to get Not Forgotten. So I had to then I'm like, okay, well I have to build my loadout around using this weapon. So then I ended up using a sniper, and then at that point, if you're a sniper, you may as well use handheld because it's a close range option. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna use this to get the job done. And once I had all my Luna's How kills, I went back to my usual shotgun from collar, whatever loadout that does not involve, whatever handheld supernova and revoker. It's just frustrating people because it's just the best tools for the job. I always say use whatever's available. Even though I hate Mountaintop, if someone uses it, I'm like, if it's working, you should be using it. I'm just not having a good time. That's all.
Right.
I'm just not happy. That's just the truth about it. But
it makes him happy that he's making you unhappy, so it works out.
Right. I mean, I'm sure people aren't happy if I'm, killing them with literally anything. So that just happens to be one of the more obnoxious ways of doing it. But obviously, I've heard people bitterly complain about being shotgunned. I've heard people bitterly complain about being sniped because, whatever, the guy is just hard scoping from 1,000 feet away, whatever the case is. So I mean, there's always gonna be something to complain about.
It's just on snipers, man, it's pretty strong with controller.
Yeah, snipers are good right now. Although only 2 of them are good, to be fair.
Well,
It's either use Beloved or Revoker. If you use anything else, you're subjecting yourself to torture because you're just gonna get flinched.
I'm so sad those are being sunset.
No, Shane.
no.
Yeah. What do you think of the changing the scopes, right? And like the aim assist with the different types of scopes. So
Yeah.
Longer range and shorter range.
I don't know how I just don't like sniping in D2. I think that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Just as a whole. I liked it in D1. I was a sniper main. I was basically shotgunning people with my sniper rifle, but I was still a sniper main, but I mean I could shotgun too. The sniping was way more fun to me. But in D2 I just have not enjoyed it at all. I've never been a fan of when they added flinch to the game back at whatever year 2 of D1 or something.
Okay.
Ever since they added flinch, I've not been a fan.
You just gotta shoot when you're flinching and you get a headshot. It's fine.
Right, and that's the thing that I hate. It's like it just becomes RNG of if you kill somebody or not. Like it's just random at that point. It's either random or you're just waiting for the timing of the reticle bounce until it bounces to their head and then you pull the trigger. And I'm like, that doesn't seem like a way I should be playing the game.
Yeah.
Where I'm not shooting my weapon until I'm being flinched correctly. Like that's a strange that's a strange way for me to be playing a game. I don't know, like that doesn't maybe that's just me, but that sounds kind of off from how I think of a shooter.
I would probably
but what do I know?
Yeah. Well, I guess we could talk about the ViDoc. ViDoc was this week, right? That was Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah, they had a lot come out this week between that and the TWAB.
Yeah. So, what did y'all think of the ViDoc? We got Aldrin back as a crow, and he's apparently working with Osiris, which is interesting.
Yep.
That's weird, yeah. I wasn't expecting that one.
But that's for me. I'm like, okay, it's a story development. You have the new light plays. I like what they did with new light. Because I've had people say to me, Bill, I want to start playing D2, but getting in is hard. I'm like, I agree. Getting in is really hard because they just throw things at you. He's like, oh, you're a new player. You should do these 14 things first. I'm like, what?
Yeah, well,
No,
I mean, especially
yeah.
if you're starting now, it doesn't even give you you don't start
Right.
with a campaign. You just do that
Yeah.
mission in the Cosmodrome, and then you're in.
You're done.
All right.
Yeah, you're
well,
done.
What?
Yeah. So
Right here, you're in orbit. Go
Yeah.
visit Spider and Eris and Zavala.
yeah, exactly. You're like,
Wait, hold on.
you're like,
I don't even know who these people are. What's a Zavala? Is that
yeah, it's like
a car?
Right. And so it's as far as the new light quest, it's really good. I like how they're trying to kind of guide players in. I also think, and this is something that goes back to community aspect, it is incumbent upon all veteran guardians to have a group of friends, especially new light players, and be able to say, okay, here's some things to think about. If you have questions, ask me, because it's our job to make sure this game keeps growing forward. And I've met too many guardians who are like, dude, I don't even want to waste my time trying to explain the 47 different perks and what they mean. It's like, no, you should know every perk in the game on every gun and every piece of armor, so that you can explain to these new light people why these 3 perks, when they're stacked together, work well. You need to do that. Why? Because smarter guardians make better players, and if we can teach the new people that makes the game a whole lot better.
I don't know, Bill. That
Yeah.
sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just want to play the game,
yes
man.
and-
Come on.
Yeah, I'd say it's a yes and no. I think some of us, that's not necessarily our role. It's not what we're good at. But if you are,
Okay.
some sort of
Well, I
community
mean,
leader, and
there's resources for that kind of stuff. If
True.
I know that if somebody's gonna ask me about weapon mods, I can be like, all right, go check out Fallout Plays. Go watch his videos on weapon mods and stuff.
Well, and honestly, that's fine. I'm just saying, don't be the guardian that goes, oh, you're only 10-10, scrub, go away. That doesn't do anybody
40
any good.
plus clears.
Yeah,
know what to do.
Yeah, you're like, I want 40 plus raid clears. I want 2 world firsts, and if you don't have,
Divinity.
if you don't have Divinity, Whisper, and Xeno, get out of my fire team. Like,
All
dude.
equipped at the same time, by the way.
Exactly. Exactly. I just think that, I mean,
Must know the glitch to equip all 3.
yeah. I just
Know what to do. I said that.
You have to
already.
have Galahorn in D2 to
yeah, there you go. Yeah, have to have Galahorn. Yeah.
Yeah, must have Galahorn in D1.
Yeah, exactly. And
It's like, wait, but we're not even. It doesn't matter. It must have it.
Yeah, and I
Must
just
be D1 alpha veteran or can
Yeah.
play with us.
yeah, I just think that people who I mean, yes, I will freely admit there are times when I say, look, I'm gonna go play with my veteran friends because we want to play a certain way, and so this encounter probably isn't for you. However, I still will make time for newer people to run through some things because I learn things from them. I learn things like how they see the game, and then it helps me to better understand how to communicate with other people. So I'm not saying that you just have to give the new light people all your time. What I'm saying is, don't be such a jerk of a gatekeeper and go, dude, unless you got anarchy, I don't even want to talk to you. I'm like, we can't get on anarchy anymore. I don't care. If you don't have anarchy, you're out of my fire team. That's dumb. That's dumb.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I haven't had to deal with that too much, luckily. I always had just enough to, not be whatever subjected to get out of here. Because back in the day, I heard the horror stories of people would only take you for stuff if you had Galahorn or whatever. And I never did for the longest time. I didn't get Galahorn until a week or 2 before Xur sold it at the end of the game. So
Really?
I basically played the entirety of D1 without Galahorn. I played it with I had Icebreaker, but I never got Galahorn for most of it.
Well, and there were people. This was back So this was back after Black Armory, just after that season started. There were people who said unless you had a swarm of the Raven with spike nades and something else on it, you were gonna raid. And the only way to get swarm was to play a Crucible and get the random drop, and then the
Iron
random
Banner,
drop,
right,
and they. And that random drop was not guaranteed to get you that roll. So you literally,
exactly, right.
You literally had to grind Iron Banner and Crucible and just get smoked by all these higher light and higher ability people, just at the off chance you might get a swarm of the Raven at the end that might have spike nades. I'm like, oh, geez.
Right. Yeah.
But now you have anarchy.
What's that?
So now you have anarchy.
Yeah. I didn't get my anarchy till like 3 weeks ago or so. I don't know. No, it was a little further back than that, a few months ago. But I went without it for quite a while. I did not raid for quite some time in D2.
Gotcha.
We were talking about the ViDoc, right?
Yes, we're talking about the ViDoc.
So, have y'all heard
Crow.
rumors about the old tower coming back?
Yes, I have heard rumors, and if you watch the ViDoc, you see Zavala standing between two Cabal commanders, and I'm like, wait, okay, we're gonna side with the Cabal?
Yeah, what
this will be interesting. Yeah.
So my theory is that the old tower is being tied in with the new light experience because they're also bringing back the Cosmodrome.
Yes.
So
that would make sense, yeah. I would like the old tower back. It's not like a deal breaker or anything. Like this new tower is fine, but yeah, the old tower would be nice. That'd be a fun blast of nostalgia. Now that it's been like 3 years since I've set foot in that old tower. I mean, you could go back to D1 and do it whenever you want, but I know most of us haven't.
Do the 0 hour mission. It's not the same though.
Yeah, but that's a totally different.
See, I think
completely different, and you don't get time to enjoy it there either because it's a timed mission.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just sit there and be like, "Wow, I want to look around." Like, you could, but most of us, we feel like we shouldn't. We should be doing the thing.
The main reason I think it's tied to New Light is because whenever you it has a picture of the tower and the Traveler is like in his D1 form, like pre Red War.
Apparently he's gonna be healed up or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna just randomly heal up for no reason. I think it's just more of this is post what happened in the campaign.
See, I think that Bungie does a really good job of giving you new stuff to keep growing the game, but giving the veterans enough of a blast from the past. Go, yeah, I remember walking into this tower the very first time, and then people like me who are kind of in the middle that can look both ways. Like yourself, you can remember. Yeah, okay, so in D1. This was here in the tower, and instead of it being here now, it's over here in this spot, and so that sort of draws everybody together, because I've played this game for a long time, but I never played D1, and so being able to be on a fire team with people like you guys that play D1, you can walk in and go, yeah, I remember walking in here, and the speaker was over here, and this and that. So it's sort of like
the speaker.
I know.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking about. Is if this is a new light thing. Would the speaker be there at the tower?
Sounds like somebody should write some fan fiction about that.
Time to nut up or shut up.
Who's gonna be the new speaker? I wonder. Actually, I have no idea.
In my theory crafting is that it should be Zavala.
Yeah, he's a huge dude to be the speaker, but yeah. That doesn't disable you from doing the job, so
right.
Yeah. He should. It'll be a good opportunity for him to stop having to do stuff he doesn't want to do.
Pretty much.
Just anything.
I get yelled at by literally everyone.
All the
everyone
people, all
gives
the time,
him so much shit all the time. I'm like, dude, He's doing the one job that no one wants to do.
Nobody wants
which is-
it, but everyone wants to tell him how to do it.
Right, everybody wants to tell him, oh, like you're being terrible. How could you do this? Why are you not letting me do that? And I'm like, dude, he has literally the fate of the human race in his hands, and he's not even a human. Like he's an awoken,
Yeah.
and he has the job of keeping us from extinction, basically. Like that's a hard task. And he doesn't really have he doesn't really have like a council he can refer to, like. And also just anyone who tries to tell him anything, they all have like their own objectives, right? Like, I mean, you have Drifter out there. Obviously, he has his own motives. You have Honor and the whole Order of the Praxis, whatever. They have their own objectives as well, which some of this lore stuff they need to make more obvious. I hate that all the lore is you have to like read it. You can't just experience it, because that's what video games are. If I wanted to experience Destiny through words, I would just buy books and not play a video game. But if I'm playing a video game, I want it displayed for me.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, crazy
Boom.
idea. I know, insane. I can't believe it.
Blown.
Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm obviously psychotic to want this, but yeah. Poor Zavala.
Yeah.
Poor Zavala. Everyone's screaming at him all
It's
the
like
time.
every time we see Zavala, he's like, I don't know if we should do that, man. I don't know if we should talk to Rasputin. I don't know if we should go like take care of these whatever. I can't even. I never remember the name.
Hunt down the prince and kill him.
Yeah.
That's literally what we were doing. We weren't like, oh, we need to ask him questions. We're like, we're hunting him down and killing him because he killed Kate. And Zavala's like, I can't say yes to this, but I'm also not going to stop you. And I'm like, well, good. That's a good answer. But everyone's like, fuck Zavala for not
Yeah, it's
saying
just
go
like-
kill him, or like,
That's the thing. Is
like
that,
he
in
didn't
the
stop
story
you.
that
Like
we
that's
have,
already.
almost every like story beat that we have, except for I guess the Red War, is like, I don't know if we should do this. I don't know if this is a good idea. So it's just like it's annoying after a while.
Yeah, but again, no one else is out there telling us no. Who's
No,
gonna tell us
yeah.
no to Zavala? Literally nobody. Like maybe Asher. Asher
Yeah,
could tell us
Asher,
something.
yeah.
Asher's like the only other character. If we like yelled at you, you'd be like, okay, sorry. Anyone else tries to tell us something, you think our guardian's gonna listen to them? No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just be like, if you don't do what I like, you're just gonna get a bunch of green engrams.
Well, I'm just saying that
Zavala's not wrong either.
I'm
We
just
went down
saying.
there. We went to kill a guy. We're talking to an AI that could probably kill everyone. Now we're literally working with the darkness. I mean, we've only gotten worse. We've only
Fine,
gotten
man, it's
worse
fine, all right.
each time.
Chill, bro.
But he didn't want to say yes the first time. You give an inch, and then they'll ask a mile. The first thing we asked was, can we avenge your best friend who just got murdered? And then later we're asking, hey, can we wield darkness? Like...
Just saying that I'm just saying we're talking about the Vanguard. I'm just saying that my Cora Ray can teleport me anywhere she wants, anytime. Just saying.
Well, we're just trying to find our own personal truth, so F Zavala.
That's right.
Yeah. We're just trying to figure out what we think is right. While, the fate of humanity hangs in the balance. No big deal.
Whatever.
No big deal.
Whatever.
Yeah, who cares about that?
Are they the Guardian? I don't think so.
I kind of hate that whole the Guardian thing, because it's like, oh, you're the super powerful guy, but like, as soon as you have a fire team, it doesn't make any sense, because we're all the Guardian, and
That's
just
like
doesn't.
the weird thing for me with the
I kind of don't like it.
like the seasonal event stuff, or like the Almighty crashing down. Like there's now stuff where it's like for all of us, so it's like
Right.
we're all working together, but still we're just like this one dude that's doing everything. So
Yeah, Osiris is like, oh, you're the Guardian who saved Saint 14, and then that same Osiris is like, wow, 9 billion of you stopped this public event, like, this many times. And I'm like, wait a minute.
where's the consistency?
Who are all these other people? Who are all these other people you're talking to, huh? I thought I was the guardian.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. Wait a minute.
I thought I was the only one
Wait,
doing these Seraph Towers. What
Am I
Wait,
not special? Am I not? What are we?
So I don't know. What do y'all think about Uldren? I like the philosophical aspect of Uldren of like, is he gonna go back to being bad, or is he actually like a new person?
He was never really bad in the first place. When he did all the stuff in Forsaken, he was under like the mind control of Riven, basically. Like
maybe, but he was always very rude.
Oh, kill him!
Well,
Kill him for that.
So depending on who you ask, I'm always rude. I mean, just saying.
Kill him! Put him in the grave. Put
That's
Ace
right.
to his head and execute him. Like Jesus.
He was mean to me, okay?
So that
Yeah, I
being
mean,
said-
his sister was very nice, and he wasn't. I get it.
Well, okay, so there was a movie starring Jim Carrey several years ago called The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So what if, okay, and the movie asked the question, what if you could erase all of your pain, all of it? It would just be wiped from your mind. What if? Well, we're now living that out. We're now living that out right now. We have Uldren. He's resurrected. He doesn't know anything from his past. He doesn't know anything from his past, but he knows everybody hates him. He's like, oh, apparently I shot Cade. Apparently. Okay. I don't remember it, but I did it. Okay.
Well,
so now
he was also very rude. He shot Cade and he was rude to everyone.
He shot Cade and he was rude.
And he was rude. And he was rude. He was rude.
He said mean words, okay? He really, really said some mean words. But what
he was sarcastic. I can't believe that.
Yeah, he shot Cade and then he laughed about it. Like,
He's
whatever.
Like what's the guy's name? Grima Wormtongue or whatever from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The dude that was like corrupting the king of Rohan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that guy. He's nowhere near that awful. Jeez.
I didn't realize until recently. So that guy is the same guy who voices Chucky.
Oh, well that adds up.
Yeah, it does add up.
That adds up. These child actors, man,
I know. So essentially, we're seeing that concept of what if you could erase your past, erase all your previous pain in real time, and so now we're doing that. But everybody remembers what you did except you. How does that sit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, which is why you never accept that deal. If someone says, "I'll erase all your pain," but you don't remember anything, because all that's going to happen is you're going to be a new person, and you're going to be like, I need to know what it is that I erased that was so horrible that I didn't even want to remember it, because everybody keeps reminding me about it, and it's it's just this unfulfilled part of you. You need to complete it, so you're just going to end up reliving it anyway.
Exactly.
It's not...
Exactly. And so now you have Uldren, who he'll end up being the Hunter Vanguard. Okay, we get that part. But how everybody deals with, because I mean, you're going.
Ikora's not going to be happy about that.
No,
I can tell you that much.
Both Ikora and Zavala are not going to be happy. But
I mean, we're not
I
gonna
think
be happy about it,
I think this is the catalyst to shake up the whole Vanguard. So.
Yeah. Well, that and like we have the new Vanguard on Europa, like the anti-Vanguard.
Exactly.
True. Yeah, because they've confirmed that we're gonna be getting more stasis subclasses.
Mm-hmm.
So that strongly implies, obviously, that with this, especially with this whole new destination, whatever, that we will be spending a lot of time probably on Europa in terms of story. So.
Yep. Agreed.
What do y'all think about this Shahan character? He looks like the most generic, like, guardian.
Looks like Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying. I'm like, I looked at it the first time, like, did they just take Channing Tatum's face and stick him on a character? Because he has the same faux hawk side thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. So
He's Channing Tatum. Yeah.
yeah. So let's just take a picture of every let's take a picture of every attractive college guy ever with a a big chest and a fro hawk.
He's a Chad.
Yeah, yeah, Chad or Kyle or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And like,
Right, yeah, exactly.
Because people are like, okay, Kyle, thanks. Okay, Kyle, shut up. Okay, thanks, Kyle.
I'm surprised they made him a hunter. I'm surprised they didn't make him a Titan. Just because they built him.
Just facts right there. That's all you need to know. Shahan is a hunter. His real name is Kyle.
Hey, now.
Yeah, he's a Kyle. He's a Titan named Kyle in disguise.
I don't know if I like where this conversation is going.
It's like, wait, how are you so beefy, man? You're a hunter. You're supposed to be slim with a cape. And he's like,
well, I'm a hunter. Yeah,
it's all the knife throwing.
Yeah,
It's all the
serious game.
He's in his,
and then
he's in his 21
yeah,
Jump Street phase.
exactly. Yeah. Oh boy.
Do you, like, I think it'd be really.
I'm excited about Crow.
Yeah,
To be honest.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about Crow. I think it'd be.
I'm
funny if
curious where they're
Shahan
gonna go with
dies
him.
during the New Light experience, though. It's like
What's that?
I said, I think it would be funny if Shahan dies during the New Light experience.
Oh, no, that'd be horrible. Oh my god.
So,
Oh my God. That's the fate of every Guardian we meet who's not like a power character. They all die. It's like, oh, I was so excited when we were on Titan when you get that was a Sabathun song, I think the one with Takeo and
yeah.
we had a fire team of 9. That whole whatever. The first time I did that strike, I was like, oh my god, there's other Guardians besides the players. We're finally gonna get NPC Guardians like in a strike. That's super freaking cool. Like, they're probably gonna be garbage because they're just bots, but like whatever. Like, that's still really cool. And then no, you only ever hear her voice on the comms, and you never even get to see. You don't even get to see her die. She just dies.
You don't get to see them like get turned into a crystal.
Right, that would have been cool. It would have sucked,
so cool,
obviously, but like, it would have been cool to see, like, you're like, and you have one of those green walls in front of you, so you can't get through, and like, a wizard is just like whatever, turning her into some crystal thing. Like, that would have been cool, but
Been awesome.
no, we just get voiceover and then really bad dialogue that runs over itself because you're running through the strike too fast. And when we all make the same joke of like, how'd you bring 9 people in here? Because that's cheating. You can't even bring 9 to a raid, let alone a strike.
Right,
And you couldn't even handle a strike with 9 people. Like, come on. Like, this strike is soloable almost. Come on, what are you doing?
I mean, obviously, we're the only Guardian, right?
We're the Guardian.
Right, we're the Guardian. So that's why.
Right. So
she should have just done the glitch. She should have just put herself in that little corner where you can't shoot anything, but they can't kill you. She should have just went to that corner and all her team had to do was handle the ads. They could have lived. You just wait for the 30-second respawn timer, But whatever. She didn't know.
So speaking of Uldren, I am of the opinion. Sorry, Uldren / Crow. Call him Crow. I'm of the opinion that the ascendant lens that we got from doing all this stuff for the Festival of the Lost is going to be
assuming that I did all this stuff for the Festival of the Lost.
Okay. Anyway, I'm of the opinion that I am of the opinion that that's gonna allow us to see the resurrection scene of Uldren again, but with new content. Because I have this question that I'm sure will be answered along the way. What's gonna happen when Crow meets his sister and doesn't know who the heck she is?
That's a good point.
Yeah. I'm not so curious for his reaction. I'm very curious for her reaction.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she'll be happy that he's there, or if she seems to know everything, so she'll be like, oh, hey, this is what I expected. Or if she'll be surprised and possibly pissed off, because it's one side of being a guardian that they don't really talk about it. Well, Drifter talks about it, but he's the only one that talks about it, which is that guardians are brought back against their will. You're never, no one's ever the only person who volunteered to be a guardian was Shin Malphur, and he's the only one apparently who's ever done it while alive. Everyone else has been resurrected and never, asked first. Not that you could really ask a dead person, but they weren't asked like while they're alive or anything. Everyone's just, you're just chosen and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you don't get to remember who you were, and you're just like indentured into servitude as a soldier, like as a guardian. You're never really given a choice. Like, it's like, oh, I brought you back to life, but if you want, you can just chill. Like, you don't, you could be a factory worker. Like, no, you're fighting for humanity. That's it. Like, that's your role now. And you also don't get to remember who you were. Ha. Apparently, your ghost will always res you. Your ghost isn't like allowed to not res you or hurt you or anything. Because Drifter talks about dying of starvation and being brought back to life and still starving. And I'm like, dude, that's dark. That's horrible. Like,
yeah, that's really nice.
He wanted, it sounds like he just wanted to die, basically, but his ghost wouldn't let him. And that's pretty dark. So I don't know, maybe the queen will be pissed off, because, the Woken are supposed to be the, like, dividing line between light and dark. They're supposed to, like, maintain balance, I guess. But, and aside, what if the stranger says a side should be chosen, even if it's the wrong side? And so people have had speculation, actually, that the light is the wrong side, because we've been winning every fight in the history since Destiny's been a game. The Guardian wins every fight, no matter who comes up against him. He beat Crota, he beat Oryx, he beat, whatever, Siva, he beat the Red Legion. Like, anyone who's faced him, he's beat down. Or she, if you're, female, the Guardian. And so it begs the question of maybe the light is actually the side that's at fault, because, there's a lot of really questionable moral things about the Guardians being forced to fight, and the Traveler, everywhere the Traveler goes, he's being chased by the darkness and always brings death with him. So, like, maybe he shouldn't be just flying around the galaxy bringing death with him everywhere he goes. Maybe, that's not a good thing. He apparently used to work with the Fallen, but I don't know why. He just said, nope, never mind. I'm teaming up with humans. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe, the Traveler's not as cracked up as he's, meant, as we see him or whatever. Maybe he's actually not so good, and that's kind of the thing they keep saying now, which is like darkness and light are just tools. They're not really inherently good or evil.
Yeah.
So then it's like,
I think that's
are we
true.
not good guys? Because we always just thought we were good because we were light, but maybe we're not good guys after all.
I think that's true in the sense of we can choose to use light and darkness in the way that we want.
Right.
But I think that's also true for the Traveler, and I think that's also true for the Pyramids.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's a question of what are they doing with it, right?
Yeah, what are their motivations?
Yeah, because we've never really been able to talk to the Traveler. Even the speaker didn't, apparently. Because it's I'm the speaker, I speak for the Traveler. That doesn't mean I listen to the Traveler. That doesn't mean he talks to me.
Yeah, it doesn't talk to you.
Also, speaker with the best roast of the century. The Gaul telling him go kill yourself. I was like, wow, that was savage.
Yeah.
Well, I think
absolutely savage.
So I think, but what he said before that is important. Is that the speaker said that inspiration inspires devotion, devotion inspires sacrifice, sacrifice inspires death. So feel free to go kill yourself.
Yeah. Dude,
yeah, it was a good lead in there.
Yeah. So speaking of the Red Legion, what do you think is up with us supposedly working with them now? Do you think something happened with the Leviathan whenever the darkness came in, and now they're like a little bit more desperate?
I think it has to do more with the fact that Gaul was touched by the light.
Like with his like.
Right. He right. So at the end of the Red War, when you finally kill Gaul, you don't actually kill him.
The Traveler kills him.
Yeah.
Basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So Gaul was touched by the light.
Yeah.
And so how does the fact that happened to him, how does that affect the rest of the Red Legion? So does that force the new commanders of the Red Legion to go to Zavala and go, look, we understand what's going on here because Gaul was touched by the light. We know we fought a lot in the past. We should work together because both of us are being destroyed by this. So.
Yeah, and I've heard people say that like probably has something to do with the fact that they weren't on Titan specifically, but they had forces on the other planets that are also taken over by the darkness.
Right. Yeah. There's that public event on IO where they they have that Cabal public event with the I guess it's a drill. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they're all. I feel like every public event is a drill of some kind.
Yeah.
A glimmer drill
or something or other. But I think I think it's just a case of like practicality, right? Which is like they're leaderless without Gaul, because he was basically he basically was the Red Legion. Like he was their whole.
Right.
He's what made them. And he also killed his own second in command, so that guy wasn't gonna take the reins either.
No.
So without their main guy in charge, and the fact that the other factions of the Cabal don't respect the Red Legion at all, because they were like their own offshoot faction or whatever from the main Cabal. I think at that point, it's just a matter of practicality, which is like, okay, well, who can we even reach out to? And ironically, we're probably the best option, because obviously we're strong because we beat Gaul and we beat them, despite them taking our planet and capturing the Travelers. How did they lose that?
Yeah.
But whatever, and it makes a lot of sense, because obviously we're strong because we beat them, but at the same time we're depleted because they fought with us, and we're facing the same threat. So I think it's just a matter of this makes the most sense for both sides,
Well,
we'll be out of friendship or anything.
With the ViDoc, wasn't that tied more into the seasonal activity, or like the seasonal activity story, rather than like Beyond Light specifically?
I'm uncertain, actually, because there's a lot to take in from that ViDoc. Because the new expansion is what's like propelling us towards stasis. The seasonal stuff, and I think the season starts like a week after or something.
So.
Yeah, like we get our artifacts straight away, I think, but through story stuff or whatever.
Yeah. The actual seasonal story doesn't start.
But the actual like some of the seasonal events and stuff, I think, are like a weekend or something.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. Yep.
Not entirely sure. There's a lot going on. That's the thing that I think is interesting about Beyond Light, because I thought it was just going to be focused around Europa and this and darkness, and that's it. Like I thought that was going to be our main thing, but like there's a lot going on, because you have this fallen group that's also wielding stasis. You have us picking up stasis. We have the Stranger returning. We have Drifter and Eris actually running ground missions, which is like weird for them. The pyramids are obviously still involved in some fashion. Sabathoon's in the background, doing Sabathoon
Yeah.
tricky
Yeah.
things. And then we have Crow returning, or Aldrin returning as Crow, however you want to say that, which
Mhm.
is like one thing, but he's working with Osiris, and I'm like, wait, what? What's
What
him
is
and
that?
Osiris doing
How
together?
did that
What?
happen?
Huh? Well, yeah, like Osiris went to the Dreaming City. Like, what? How did this even happen in the first place?
Yeah.
And then like, why are they working together specifically? So that's like a whole
Well, so
interesting.
the
little...
reason I asked that is because in the cutscene with Zavala and the two Legionnaire dudes, you have Osiris in the background, and then you have Osiris
okay.
and the Crow fighting the Hive dudes. So maybe there's actually more of
Oh
a
yeah, and
conflict.
there's that whole Hive thing.
Yeah, maybe the conflict is between the Hive and the Cabal, not so much the Cabal and the Darkness. So
that could be it. Yeah.
yeah.
Look at you.
And the other reason I thought that is because with the last story mission thing for this season, with the room, it was us, the Cabal, I guess for the Hive in there as well, and then the Fallen. It was everyone except for the Vex, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had a Vex thing since the season of Undying or whatever.
Yeah. I just meant like in the room where everybody was like standing around and like looking up at like the pyramid thing in the middle.
Oh yeah. There was no Vex there. It was everyone else, I guess.
Yeah.
Were Scorn there?
Yes, they were.
Were they?
Yes, they were. There were four groups there. There were four groups. There were four groups.
Yeah. The I guess human guardians, Hive,
Cabal,
and Fallen.
Okay, so then no Scorn.
No, but who cares about Scorn?
I wish they would go away. Take them out. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
We're done. We're done with the Forsaken DLC. Dang it.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're not. So
I'm actually really interested in the new like enemy units they're adding to the Vex and the Fallen, with like the big walker and like the new like I guess it's like a Minotaur looking thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see. That is something that I do want to see. I like when they add new enemy types. That was something when I was playing through D1 the first time. That was like, I think that was one of the cooler parts of doing the story, was like slowly being introduced to each of these different races. Because like you start off against the Fallen on the Cosmodrome, and they're just scavengers, whatever. But they basically own that area. So it's like, okay, So even though they're just scavengers, they can definitely outnumber you. So you should be scared. And then you uncover the Hive, and uncovering the Hive is spooky.
It was very spooky, dude.
It is spooky. It was a good moment. Just like because when you first encounter them, they're like in this complete darkness at the bottom of the Cosmodrome. And you're like, what the hell are these things?
Yeah.
And then you see them.
That wizard came from the moon.
Right, and then you find out you've woken the Hive. So.
Way to go, big guy! You're the Guardian.
Yeah, you're fine, right? Because you're the Guardian. You woke up the Hive too. Which we just gloss over that, I guess. We woke up the Hive, and we stepped into a war with the Cabal on Mars. But let's just brush over that. But we're the Guardians, so we're fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Guardian down. I missed that voice. Anyway. But yeah, being introduced to each of the races was really cool. Like the whole Mars thing, and you're like, oh, Mars was pretty empty. You're like, what's going on here? And then you go into this base, and suddenly, the Cabal show up, and he's talking about them, and like they've conquered, all these places and stuff. But, like, it was cool. Like and then the Taken were also very scary with the whole, like, the Orcs cutscene where he's like taking the people, and then they're all jittering and all this weird stuff. So. Like, that was all very cool. All these introductions were great. The Vex are scary because timelines and Vault of Glass and all that.
Mm-hmm.
but since then we haven't really had. I mean, the only other thing we've added is the scoring, and the scoring weren't really at the same level in terms of like storytelling or their importance in like the Destiny
Yeah.
world.
Like
They were their own little self-contained sort of thing that
yeah,
only
they
applied
haven't really
to
had anything to do
the older
outside of
storyline.
the Dreaming City or whatever.
Yeah, and they're not even like the Dream City is like more Taken oriented anyway.
Yeah, they're more
Born oriented.
I can't even think of the. You okay over there, buddy?
Whoops. Yeah, I'm fine. I'll fix that. Sorry, I had to move my chair.
What's the name of the destination that this corner at? I can't remember, man.
Tangled Shore?
Yeah, Tangled Shore. I was something Shore.
Yeah.
I was thinking Forgotten
Yeah, they're
Shore,
like
but I was
kind
that's
on Tangled Shore and they're kind in the Dreaming City, but they're not really. There's not really a lot of them in either place. I don't know. Like, my feeling on is like they were fine for the story, but it's time to just get rid of them and like bring in something more interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
But I guess it's a lot to ask to bring in a whole new faction and like, you know, populate them in the story. It's like, well, where were they all this time if they just suddenly show up, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully this whole Europa thing will be a good change in terms of like, you know, having new enemies to face. Because I mean, they tried it with what was the Mars DLC, the Warmind DLC. They had the whole like ice hive under the, you know, at Mars.
Yep.
Mhm.
But like it was just a reskin. The only ones that were different were like the Cursed Thrall because they froze you when they blew up, which was a pain. It was just very annoying. But overall, they were just a reskin of the hive. They were no different than the actual regular hive.
And Ash has just reminded me that podcasts are a separate category, if that's okay.
Oops.
But I think we're gonna, since we're already approaching our 2 hours, we're gonna save the rating topic for later. But we got a new guest here, so let's do a good guest interview. So, how are you, man?
That would be me.
Stream keeps crashing for you?
Really?
I don't know. It's okay. We're all over the bitrate spectrum right now. We're like at 800.
Wow.
So got some internet problems going on right now. Well, that's okay. We're still recording it anyways. So let's do it.
All right.
So tell us about yourself, Skyler. What do you do?
I play video games. No,
That's what I do.
I shoot things. I'm on Twitch.
Twitch.tv. No, anyway. Just start plugging.
Go
plugging
ahead.
right away.
Yeah, do it.
No, we have our plug section later, I believe. But yeah. So I'm a college student right now. I'm studying business intelligence and business analytics.
Oh, okay.
I'm to be fair, I'm studying that, but I'm not sure if that's what I'll be, you know, doing down the line. But it is an interesting topic, so at the moment that's my thing. I do some like eBay sales stuff on the side, but that's not really that's just it's whatever. It's just some supplemental income. It's not really like a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've considered doing it as like an actual, you know, like that's my actual job, but not right now with COVID and such going on.
Oh,
that's
dude,
not really.
So my wife is from Vietnam, so we used to do resale to Vietnam, but like with COVID and like pretty much all that has been shut down recently because of shipping and stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like a lot. It's weird because like on one hand, a lot of things that are like normal, like your typical job and all these other things that we're accustomed to doing all the time are like way harder to do right now.
Oh yeah.
But on the other hand, on the like, you know, video gaming and just digital side of things, that's all like shooting way up.
Yeah.
So it's there's highs and lows to that whole situation. And yeah, as far as my hobbies, obviously I play a lot of video games. I stream and do YouTube videos. I prefer YouTube to streaming, to be
Yeah?
perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But
So what kind of YouTube videos do you do? Is it like more like
So,
gameplay highlights,
these days
tutorials, kind of stuff?
yeah. So I started out as purely a montage maker.
Okay.
Those channels you find where they just do montages for people and they're whatever.
Yeah.
But they're all just for me. I eventually did one. I did one for my whole clan, which was fun. That was a really fun video to do, where I collected everybody's clips, and then each person got their own little intro thing to sort of give you a little idea of who they are, like gameplay wise, like what kind of stuff they're into, and then you'd get their clips, and it with all of us being introduced, and then it would culminate with me at the end. But and then one time I did one for my friend's brother, just because I don't know, I just wanted to do something for him. So I was like, "You got any clips?" And he's like, "Yeah, here, I'll send you some." And I'm like, "All right." And then I made him a montage just because I could. I don't know, it was fun. So yeah, for like the first, I don't know, 2 years, I would say, of doing YouTube, it was just montage stuff, which I only did because like I played so much Destiny PvP, and like cool stuff would happen at some point. It's like originally when I played, I was not very good. I just played for fun. It took a long time of playing to become decent, and then it took even longer to feel confident. Where I'm like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, and I feel like I'm pretty good at this.
I mean, you still have to play consistently just to stay on it.
Yeah, it's a process. So for me, Destiny is actually like one of my first like online games that I ever really played. Like I grew up playing Halo on Xbox, but it wasn't on Xbox Live. Like I just
really?
played the
What? That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. So I grew, yeah. 'Cause my parents are a little, they're very like not conservative like politically. They're conservative with like not subjecting me to too much. They're like protective, I guess that's the word you'd say.
Considering
So they didn't really want to
sheltered.
Yeah, they didn't really want to subject me to like all these weirdos on the internet or whatever. So
Just a bunch of weirdos.
I am not weird. I am not weird. Just saying.
Sounds like something a weird person would say.
Yeah, so I grew up just playing just Halo 1 on the original Xbox, like just playing campaign, but I loved it. So it's not like I was missing out in that sense. So I just played the heck out of it, and then whenever Halo 2 came out, obviously I got that straight away, and then Halo 3 and the 364, just Halo 3, like that was the whole reason I got it. And then I ended up branching out into other games, and it wasn't until I got my Xbox One in like 2013, I think, is when the Xbox One came out.
I think so. I guess I don't know. It's been a while.
Something like that. And that was the first time I got a console, and I was old enough where they're like, yeah, whatever, you can play online. We're not gonna, they didn't care anymore.
Gotcha.
If something terrible happens to me, it's my own fault. They did all they could. Yeah. So I had Battlefield 4, which I was playing online, but I didn't really get into it too much. It wasn't until Destiny where I first and I still played that solo for a really long time. It wasn't until I was on patrol on Cosmodrome, and I was already maxed out. I was level 20, which at base that was your max level without the DLC.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about armor locking in Reach?
Armor lock and Reach. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I played Halo Reach, by the way. I played a lot. I played a lot of Halo Reach. A lot. A good amount of it was offline again. But I did eventually end up playing that online too. I like Reach, so which is a controversial opinion, by the way. Even though I'm someone who grew up playing all the Halos, so I've experienced all of them. And I think Combat Evolved is the best one, personally. That's my opinion.
Time to nut up or shut up.
And OG weapons are they're so cool.
Oh,
Like the
yeah.
assault rifle when it was first made, assault rifle was dope.
Yeah.
The OG pistol was clearly broken, like completely overpowered, like
What do you mean?
beyond anything.
I thought it was supposed to
Like,
just
that
one-shot
gun-
hunters. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean that gun was just busted straight up. Like, people want to talk about the BR was like, that was like one of the classic like best weapons or whatever in Halo 2. And the DMR is a terrible, terrible attempt at remaking it. They should be ashamed.
I like the DMR, right?
It's a fun weapon, but
fun
it's
for
not.
SWAT.
It's no battle rifle. It's no battle rifle.
No,
Okay?
definitely not.
And the pistol's just super overpowered too.
Yeah.
But whatever. Combat Evolved is super great. But yeah, Reach, Armor Lock. I liked the abilities just because the original Halo formula was getting kind of old. They introduced dual wield, and dual wield was fine, and they put the like power ups in Halo 3, which was like, it was gimmicky. It wasn't really.
Yeah, I like the armor abilities like way more than the equipment in Halo 3, personally.
Yeah. So that's the thing. The equipment in Halo 3 was kind of pointless. It didn't really add anything in the end. So I liked that the abilities made things more interesting. Armor Lock, most people hated because it's cheesy. Basically, it's like a get out of jail free card.
It was cheesy, but like if you knew the timing of it, it wasn't that bad.
Oh right, that's the thing. So that's the thing. It was cheesy, but at the same time, it was really like if you're against a good player, it was really bad most of the time because they just wait for you to come out and you just get smoked.
Yeah.
And you know how long they can hold it. You can only hold it like 2 seconds at most. So you just throw a plasma at their feet, like within the last half second, and they're not going to be able to avoid it. So you just kill them.
Yeah.
So it's not even good. People just don't like it because it's cheese. Because it's like, oh, you can, tank a plasma grenade stick, which is not fair, or you can, or whatever. But I mean, so all the purists are like, no, you sprint and nothing else, because that's the good one, and that's the not cheesy one. And I'm like, yeah, but sprint's the best one. You're shaming someone for using the gimmick one. It's not even good. Yeah. It's just frustrating every once in a while. But like the sprint's the best one by far, because you get to the power weapons before everyone else. You can run away from fights and disengage way more than anyone else. And you can do that sneaky thing people learned, which is if you sprint jump over someone's head, you can get the assassination melee on them. Even though you're not facing them from behind, it's still like the game still reads it as you're behind them, so you get an assassination.
That's funny.
Yeah. So but I liked Armor Lock personally. I liked it, but I know most people hate it.
I liked Armor Lock too. I liked breaking Armor Lock early and like surprising people because they think you're gonna like hold it.
Oh yeah, it pops their shield if they're close.
Yeah,
it pops their shield off. Yeah, and then you just melee them and that's it. They're dead. I liked it when someone comes lunging at you with a sword and you're just like, nope.
Yeah. It's very strategic. I thought it was a good ability. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with Armor Lock. Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate you asking me that. You're clearly a man of culture.
Yes. Well, so I actually just finished reading on an audiobook. It's a book called The Shadows of Reach, which is the latest Halo novel to come out. It's supposed to...
I used to read all those.
Yeah.
I kind of hate that I don't anymore, but I don't know.
This one was basically talking about they're going back to like find something on Reach to kind of help out with the Cortana situation, and then also apparently the Forerunner artifact that was on Reach is apparently open a portal to the Ark to bring back Atriox. So
so the last Halo I played was Halo 4, by the way, just to give some context.
Okay, all right.
I didn't even play Halo 5.
You did not miss much of the campaign in Halo 5. It was...
Right, that's the thing, right? I've heard. I keep wanting. I keep going like, it's on sale, or not? It's on sale. It's just a lot cheaper now. It's old. I should do it just to see what's going on with it. But I can't make myself do it. It's not Bungie anymore either.
The multiplayer in Halo 5 is actually really good. Way better than 4. I like the movement abilities. And I think Halo 5 had good like vehicle combat during the campaign, but the story was trash.
They named it Halo 5 Guardians. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out.
It's like I thought we were the
I just want
Guardians
to
of
point
Destiny.
that out. They named it Halo 5 Guardians, and reportedly they have something that's like akin to like a Fist of Havoc in it, or like some other like Titan, like a shoulder charge. I don't know. They heard there was something in it that was like kind of similar.
There's a shoulder charge you can do, but it takes out your shields, so it doesn't kill you.
Okay.
And then there's also
So if those Halo players would just use Skullfort, they wouldn't have that problem.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's also if you have enough air, you can charge and you can like do like which is it, the Striker Titan, where he like goes into the ground, but it's it's like the melee ability, not the super.
Yeah, the middle tree thing, seismic strike.
Ground pound,
You can ground pound.
Ground pound, yeah.
So I would say the main difference between Destiny and Halo 5 PvP is that you don't have aim assist in PvP for Halo.
Yeah. Which is good? Question mark.
I like it. I thought it was really
Chris would say that's good. Yeah. They feel completely different. Well, I haven't played Halo 5, mind you, but playing Halo and then playing Destiny, like the games feel completely different with how the guns like, perform because of that, because of the aim assist.
Yeah.
Feels 100% different. And I think I would enjoy Halo PvP still, even now. The main thing for me is that I would just don't want to pull away from Destiny just because it's both things, you know, like you have all the PvE content and story and whatnot that like ties in, and like so you can play PvP and then you can go right back to doing all the story stuff, and it's not disjointed or whatever. Whereas like the Halo campaign is like it's just a campaign and that's it. It's not really like tied into the same stuff.
Then,
so I don't know.
Halo 5 also has like a crazy firefight mode.
Oh yeah, I missed Firefight from Reach.
Yeah.
Firefight was sick, dude.
Yeah.
Like, let's face a wave of 16 hunters. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So.
Oh my god.
In Halo 5, it's like you have two different teams, and it's like kind of like a battlefield map, but you also have like enemy AI that you're fighting as well. So it's interesting.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm. And then it's
I like that
kind of like Firefight,
too.
and you can earn points and stuff by like killing dudes, and then you can use those points to unlock like weapons or vehicles and stuff. It's pretty good actually.
That sounds actually fun. Now you're making me want to get Halo 5.
You should play it. It's fun. I actually think
they broke my heart with Halo 4.
Oh, dude, Halo 4 was. I enjoyed the campaign in Halo 4 for the most part.
It was a good story, but it broke my heart.
Yeah.
It broke my heart. I mean,
they
I heard
many mistakes.
I've heard, whispers of like Cortana not actually having died there, or she came back in some way, whatever. I'll have to, look at that on my own. But for me, playing Halo 4 at that time,
if that breaks your heart, you're gonna hate the ending of Halo 5. Oh my god.
All right, well then maybe I won't play Halo 5. Or maybe I will. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know. But yeah,
I would recommend. So I personally think that Halo 5 PvP is better than Destiny PvP, but it's definitely not as.
That's
popular.
not saying much.
No, it's not. It's not saying much, but it's more of the classic arena style Halo.
Yeah.
Than Halo 4 was.
Yeah, Halo 4 was weird. It had that whole like call down the weapons thing.
Yeah.
Instead of having the weapons on the map, like you summon them. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, it's very odd.
It was funny to call the weapon on someone when they died though. Like that was pretty hilarious, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't great. But yeah, so like my like video gaming roots was even though most people my age, they grew up playing like Mario and like all these Nintendo platformers and stuff. I didn't have any of that. I just had a original Xbox when I was like 8 or something, somewhere between 8 and 10, and then so I grew up just playing Halo campaign up until like whenever Xbox One came out, and then I finally stepped into actual PvP with people. I mean, like whenever friends came over and we played like Halo PvP, I would slap people, but like that I had no real concept because I wasn't facing online, so it's a very small pool of people. And it wasn't until like a while playing Destiny PvP where I was like, okay, like
Dude,
I kind of know what the hell.
When Halo 3 came out, I had some friends come over and we had 3 different Xbox 360s set up, and so we all played
Oh my god, dude.
together.
That's
so
those are the days. that sort of thing is gone now, which kind of sucks. Because even if you like, because I've done that where I go to a friend's house and bring my console and like whatever, we have an extra TV set up and all that, but like they don't, those games don't support local multiplayer anymore.
Or split
so like
kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. So like I'm coming over with my console, and that's just one extra person that can play. Like, and that's it. Like in the same room. The other people have to all be online at their house. Like, if you want to play together, you have to to go apart to play together.
Right.
Online these days. So it's like it's kind of backwards in that way.
Yeah, that's
like if we want to hang out and play, we have to play old stuff.
That's one of the things that they're bringing back for Halo Infinite whenever it comes. Hopefully, it comes out at some point. It's gonna have split screen again. So.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because video game needs that. Video gaming, that's like a big part of what made it so fun, I think.
Yeah, that's
what made it such a phenomenon.
We played the crap out of Halo and Halo 2 and Halo 3 co-op and stuff. So
yeah,
all about that life, man.
Yeah, the online has its place for sure, of course, but at the same time, I think that like local, like go to your neighbor's house and play sort of thing. I think that's like a big aspect that really helps the video gaming community.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even Call of Duty had that for multiplayer.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah,
it did. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, these places don't exist hardly anymore, but we used to have one of those like those places where they have like all the consoles and like TVs set up, and you like go in and you pay to play for an hour or something.
Yeah, like
kind of like a cafe or whatever.
Well, so there's a company out there called Play Live Nation that does that in malls. Yeah.
Mhm. There's more.
So like.
I've seen. I mean, it's huge in like Asia. There's like tons of them in Asia. But most of that, I think, you'll find in the U.S. is probably VR arcades now.
Yeah, that's true. Because most people like don't want to shell out for a VR headset, and they don't have the room in their house to like set up all this stuff and whatever. I mean, it depends on which thing you're using, but for some of it, you need to have like the lights in your room interfere with it and all this other stuff. So you most people can't really set it up. But yeah, back in the day, I remember I had a friend who I hadn't seen in a long time, and so we met up at the mall, and she's like, "Hey, you want to go play whatever Call of Duty?" And I was like, "Sure." Like, so we went to one of those gaming places. We sat down, we started whatever. She just loaded up what's that Rustlands or whatever, like that classic Call of Duty map that everybody. And mind you, again, I didn't really play anything online at that point, so any skill I had was all just PvE. All my skill is PvE, and so we're playing, and I'm just smoking her, and she's like, "What? No!" Like, so we end up there for like 2 hours, like just like game after game after, just grinding out like PvP matches.
That's awesome.
On Rust.
So okay, so how are you not like this female in your life? How are you not married to her? Because I mean if a girl asks me on a date, hey, you want to go play Call of Duty? Heck yeah, let's go. Yeah, why are you not married to her? Hello.
Oh, that's a whole other. I'm not gonna get into that. She had her own bundle issues there.
Okay, I'm just saying those kind of women are rare. Hang on to them.
Yeah.
Okay, just saying.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
My wife
Thank you.
doesn't have anything to do with video games.
Oh, same with my wife. She's like, I hate social media. Keep me away from your stupid video games. Why do you yell at your screen so much? I'm not yelling at the screen. I'm yelling at my fire team. What's a fire team?
Oh god. Oh god, that's the whole. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Nah, you're good. But yeah. So that was sort of my roots were mostly just playing alone. And I'm an only child, so I didn't get to have like a brother to like beat up on me or for me to beat up on. I just all my practice was PvE until Destiny, and then finally. I finally got into a real PvP place, but then I still didn't know what I was doing at first, because it's like Destiny doesn't really tell you anything. So, and you didn't have set loadouts, you just went with whatever your character had. So I just had some like random auto rifle, and like I had no idea what I was doing at first. It was great. Like a .7 KD was a good round for me back then. Then eventually, slowly, your literacy with like the game grows and whatever. I started raiding with people, so I started figuring out, more of what was actually happening in Destiny and not just like the base game. Because like you beat the base game, they're like, "Here's a stranger's rifle," and like, "All right, go do Vault of Glass," and you're like, oh, "Okay," and then you show up at Vault of Glass, like that opening area, and you're like, "I don't get it. Like, what am I doing? Like, how do I open this thing? Like, it's just these little plates to stand on, but like there's 6 of them. You can't do it by yourself." So like I had no idea, and so I was like, "Oh well, whatever." And like my friend was the one who actually like taught me, like, "Oh, we're gonna have to LFG for people. Like we're gonna have to go on the internet to a website that is not this game to find people to tell them to play this game with us, and then they'll play with us." And I'm like, that sounds sketchy as fuck, but all right.
Turns out it
At
was
least
sketchy.
you're here with me, so yeah, whatever. We'll do it. And then, now like I'm someone who games all the time, and I game with people on the internet. I use all these websites and apps to find people, and you meet people on Twitter, and you hook up and play. So now, I'm part of this whole online culture that I never understood or grew up with. But yeah,
I think it's changed.
It's been a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah.
And now here I am.
Yeah. Do you want to post your links in chat so I can post, or in the Discord so I can post them in chat?
Yeah, sure.
YouTube
I will
and
give you
Twitch.
all the links.
Yeah. Give me
They're all the same thing, which
Okay.
is
That's fun.
you've got twitch.tv/SkylerDama. You've got youtube.com/SkylerDama. You've got twitter.com/SkylerDama.
Perfect.
And I think it's the same on Instagram too. I think Instagram's the same thing. It's just instagram.com/SkylerDama. I could be wrong. The Instagram one's the only one I'm not sure about.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they're all pretty straightforward, to be honest. Which is, that's good for branding.
Yeah. It is. It is very good.
So anyone else out there who's, doing this sort of thing, or like looking to do that sort of thing, you should try to keep it all consistent if you can.
Agreed.
Yeah. So in terms of my content these days, since you asked, I used to do montages. I've moved away from that because they take, if you want to make them well, you either need to take months to do it, or like a month, because you need to collect the clips first. Since I'm doing my own videos, if it was for someone else, they would just send me the clips, obviously.
Yeah.
But you have to collect the clips, then like sift through them and pick the ones you want to use, which that already actually takes a lot of time because you have to watch each of them to their entirety.
Yeah.
And then you drag them all in, and you have to cut them all down, like, because there's usually a lot of like useless garbage in between, like up front and at the end of stuff that's not important. And then after that, you get to the actual editing part, which can take a long time. And then that's one
Time to
video.
nut up or shut up.
That's it. You've made one video. Congratulations.
Good job.
They're fun and they're cool to look at and all that. But like they're very, very time consuming. And if you want to actually do content creation as like a real thing, like if you wanted to do it long term as like a air quotes job, it might not be a job, it might just be a side job, it might be a side hustle for a lot of people. And it is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But if you want to pursue it as anything long term, like for actual, for it to support itself in some way, then you can't really just because at that point I'm just an editor. If I just do montages, like you're not really making revenue through like YouTube. Like you're just like putting the videos out there, and then people see it as like a reference for your work. So then they would hire you to like edit stuff for them. But that's not something I want to do. Editing is like very tedious. It's fun to a degree, but I wouldn't want to do it all the time. So I realized at some point I needed to change my content. So it moved to me just doing like gameplay bits. So it was just like I would stream for a bit, and then I would just upload like, oh, here's like a match that was good or whatever, or like a match where funny stuff happened, which I still do to a degree, but it's a little more like refined now, because before it's just here, slaps up the 20-minute gameplay. Here, we're done.
Let me grab this highlight and post it straight to YouTube.
Right. I mean, you can do that, and you can like give it funny titles and all that, but like I don't know. That doesn't really generate views for you. You have to like find a way to pull people in first and all that. So these days it's sort of a mix of stuff. I try to do like anything current that's going on. So like for instance, that whole, you mentioned the tower event, like when that happened, I streamed it live when it happened, and then as soon as the event ended, I took that footage and put it up on YouTube and trimmed out all the 2-hour waiting.
Yeah.
Because it was a 2-hour event of waiting and a 10-minute event of watch. Not even, it was like a 2-minute of watching.
Yeah.
So I trimmed it massively, obviously, just to include each of the little moments that happen. So like, when the ships first showed up, or like when you first see the like gunfire, and like each thing hasn't happened during the event, and trim it down. And I also included like where you find the lore, or the emblem, not lore, the emblem at the tower, because there's like an emblem in that little broken out chunk.
Yep.
So yeah, so my videos now they're a lot more to the point. I do still upload gameplay that's like private match stuff, because our clan does private matches pretty regularly. Not as much now because we're busy catching up. We're beyond light in the content vaulting, but before that we would hold one pretty much every week. So I would take that, and you take the good moments and the funny moments. A lot of it is funny moments. That's also something that people need to realize, is that content creation it's not all about just being like a top whatever player. Because for me, that was something I had to like break away from, because and that was why I started off with montages, because I was like, oh look how good I am, like,
oh yeah,
let's showcase skill.
Dude, freaking talking about Halo, freaking fails of the week from Achievement Hunter was like one of my favorite series.
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, that's right. That's like one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, like it depends on each person what they watch or whatever. But for me, a lot of my YouTube like consumption is not just watching montages of Destiny. Like I watch a good amount of them, and I watch tip videos too. But there's a lot of other content out there that we consume, or that people consume. And it's like, what's pretty universal. Not everyone can watch a clip of you like destroying somebody and get much from it. They're just like, oh look, he shotgunned 3 people. Like they might not like get any nuance from that at all. Like to them it's just you shot some people. Like there's not much there. Yeah. But if you post something funny, everyone gets it. Like one of my Twitter clips that got more likes than most of them was just some dude killed me in Crucible, and he started teabagging, but he got hit by I don't know, it was an incendiary grenade or like my flaming shoulder charge or whatever. So he was burning, so he died. He died in the middle of bagging because he burned out from being hit by my ability, and it was just hilarious. It was just awesome. This dude just teabagging, and then he just goes, oh, he just falls over. And so
That's why
like
you
that.
don't teabag SkylerDama right there.
It was just so I said something like oh that was karma or whatever, and people love like to that's relatable to anybody, and making people laugh is like way more. I think there's a lot more value in that anyway than just like showing something cool. Yeah, I mean I appreciate when I see Frostbolt do some insane kill on somebody, like I love that, but at the same time, like laughter is so much like more infectious and way more universal. So
yeah, I mean that's why people enjoy like watching like Phasmophobia or Among Us or
right. Yeah, because that's
Guys.
relatable too. When people scream and they're all like freaking out, like that's
it's very funny,
relatable. Right, it's funny and it's relatable. So, I mean, if that doesn't mean there's no market for being skilled. Obviously, like if you're a top whatever percent player, then you can definitely create content from that too. But I would say don't never like segment yourself to only that, because your skill is only going to last for so long. Because gaming is like anything. Like over time, you're going to erode. You're not going to be able to keep up with that. Like there's some. Like personally, I know some guys that are like 15 or whatever, and they're just absolutely cracked out of their mind, like, like just Mountain Dew fueled destroyers of the world, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like my peak in this game was in D1. First of all, it wasn't even in D2, so I'm already like not gonna be able to keep up, but like. Even back then, like I would have to have a good day to keep up with these kids. Like you take me at my peak and like find me a day where I'm not tired, and yeah, I can keep up with them. But that's like because I'm trying real hard. Like that's me winning because I'm trying to make a point of like, no, I'm not losing to this guy. Like it's not me going like, yeah, this is easy. Like no, this is me like trying.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's the only way I'm gonna get ahead of these guys.
Yeah.
I think that is what gave me the confidence though to actually pursue any content creation, was because I was like, I looked up, because people like to look up Destiny tracker and see your stats and all that, which was it. To be fair, it's not something I really believe in, because I don't think stats tell the whole tale. But I was like, whatever, everybody's doing it, let me go take a look, and I see like top 1%, top 3%, and all these things, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually good at this game. I'm actually good at this game. Like, I think I'm pretty good, but according to this, I'm really good. Like, let's work with that. Like, let's use that and run with it. But I realized that after a certain point, like not only does that not last, but it's not like that's not how you really build up an audience for the most part. So I've moved away from that. So I have videos that like show like like soloing specific dungeon areas, or like just doing raids, or doing funny stuff in private match. So stuff that's either informational or it's funny. So that way it's useful, or just gives people value of some kind. Because just posting just look at me playing Crucible, like that can be entertaining, but it's a lot less entertaining, and it's like you have a smaller market when you do that.
It's also like very generic.
Right, that's the thing. It's pretty like forgettable. Like everyone kind of can do that or does it already.
Yeah.
And I don't. To be fair, I don't just play Destiny, so I should mention that. So, it's my main game. Don't get that confused. Most of my videos are Destiny, and I have way more playtime in Destiny than anything else. But obviously, that that PvP skill translates across other first-person shooters, because it's a lot of it's pretty similar. So that translates for like Overwatch and stuff like that. So I do occasionally put up Overwatch highlights as well. For me personally, I really like doing Let's Plays. I think Let's Plays are like how do I put it? They're like a underrated like movie watching sort of thing. Because I mean, a lot of people upload like just cutscenes from a game, and you can watch that as a movie.
Yeah.
But I think it's way more fun when you watch someone actually going through the game for the first time, because you get like the context of like, because in games it's not just the cutscenes that matter. Like a lot of stuff happens in game that tells part of the story, and for some games the actual game mechanics are like part of the story as well. Like they can influence the
Mm-hmm. For sure, yeah.
like your perspective on it. So yeah, I think like watching someone go through a game for the first time and like getting their impression and like because it's like a lot it's people like reaction channels because it's always like fun to see like, oh, how would someone react to this, like, you know, funny thing happening or like whatever, or someone getting scared out of their mind.
Yeah.
So
Or
you know,
like,
it kind of
were they able to kill the boss way faster than I was?
yeah, right. I mean, there's all sorts of right. It's like it gives you a way to relate to someone without even having to know them.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about YouTube is that it's always there. So like you can watch it whenever you feel like, as opposed to streams where it's like you'll miss out and you know, like, you can't always be there or whatever. But with YouTube, you can go whenever you want. So if you want to relax, you can just pull up a Let's Play and just watch a game from start to finish, and you kind of ride along the journey with the person who's playing. So yeah, so I have some Let's Plays on the channel as well. That's actually my preferred content, if I'm being truthful. Like that's my favorite thing to do, but I know most people want my Destiny help, so or they want to watch me kill somebody. So I try to keep everybody happy.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You're new, so is there an exotic weapon that you'd like to create for Destiny? What would your idea for your own custom exotic weapon be?
So it would be unique to Destiny, but it wouldn't really be a unique idea, which is I would want to do something thematically. It'd be kind of like the Needler from Halo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So something that shoots like crystalline sort of projectiles. As far as what they do, that they don't have to do an explosion. If you want to really not make it like Needler, you can maybe make it like poison rounds or something. Like it injects poison into them with the crystals. Or I don't know. If you want to be really creative, you could. Well, then it would be like subclass specific. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that would work.
So
well. We only do that with armor. We don't do that with weapons, right?
One of the best guns I ever had in Fallout 4 was a laser Gatling gun that did bleed damage. So it would just like melt anybody. That thing is absolutely nuts. So yes, I would be totally down for something that does like poison and it like stacks on itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because we have Thorn already, but like, I don't know. It's so like a lot of the damage from Thorn is in the individual bullets. It's not really from the poison so much. The poison is just like a small tackle.
Yeah.
I would rather a weapon that's like the rounds are individually weak, but it's the effect stacking that's actually where the damage comes from.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You mean like a weapon we have in D2 called Outbreak Perfected?
Kinda. Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
If you get more people.
Yeah, it's a similar concept, except those come like the damage on the EVA things comes from the outside, whereas I don't know. I feel like injecting something is always really cool. I guess Witherhoard kind of injects itself, but it's like very short lived. I want something that's like really long term poison. Like it's all about like duration and like just stacking it as much as you can, like really filling them up with just a ton of injection. Like this thing is super impractical on like everything except like huge bullet sponges, because on everyone else you could just melt them with like whatever your best DPS weapon is. So this would be like a really long term, like you want like 50 stacks and then it does like crazy damage. Yeah, that's what I would make.
I like it.
It would make something wildly impractical but kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they'd make one boss with a stupidly big health bar, and then you could only use that weapon. And everything else was...
We gotta have some kind of meta, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
So, what's your stream schedule, or what's your schedule for posting content right now?
Okay, so for Twitter, I upload stuff like every day, basically. So every day I put up 1 or 2 clips, and then I also, just chat with people, whatever's going on. And then for Instagram, it's pretty sporadic. I like to upload every day in the morning, but sometimes I don't wake up in the morning, so. So that kind of interferes with that.
Yeah, I'm right there
but,
with you, man.
You know, that's fine. You know, because I know there's some people out there that really like Instagram, so I try to keep them happy. But the most recent updates to iOS
TikTok
are
is
ruining
good,
my life.
but I have like I don't even know what to do for TikTok.
I'm not young enough for TikTok. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know. Maybe I should look into that actually. I might do that now that you bring it up. But as for the other stuff for YouTube, I upload. I want to say 4 days out of the week. I used to upload daily. For a while, I even uploaded twice daily, but that was unsustainable.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's
dude.
a lot. It's a lot to do. I mean, that's fine if you're not working or if you don't have school. But as soon as you're doing one or the other, like, you don't have that time.
Yeah.
And if you do, then you might not be you might be putting out content, but it might not be something anyone wants to watch.
I barely do 2 or 3 videos a week. I can't imagine.
Right. Yeah, so right now my upload schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sorry. So it's all the weekdays, and I don't upload on the weekends. But I stream on the weekends. So
okay.
yeah. So uploads during weekdays, streaming on the weekends, and then sometimes I just stream randomly because why not? So if you have notice on,
there's mostly
you'll know.
To the madness. Okay.
Yeah, if you have notice on, you'll know. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. How should I say it? I'm not gonna not stream randomly just because I have a schedule. Like, I have the scheduled time, so if you want to know every time that I'll be there, then you go by the scheduled time. But if you want other, just random spur of the moment streams, then you'll know because I always post on Twitter whenever I go live. But also, if you have notice on, then you'll know them too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna deny people a random free stream just because I'm not gonna only stick to schedule. People deserve bonus streams. They deserve free stuff.
That's right. Because how else can you cross map people with Handheld Supernova,
right?
And then brag about it if no one's there to listen, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. They got to be there to see it. They got to be there. That's the whole reason that you go down content creation in the first place, is so you can show everyone all the cool stuff you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, if a tree falls in a forest, doesn't make a sound if nobody's there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. People got to know. Like, I still have the story of, like, I faced these Super 3 sweats in Destiny 1, and I hit a blinking, 180 snipe on him through a wall, but I don't have the clip because I deleted it, so no one knows.
It's basically
so obviously it didn't happen because you don't have the clip, right?
Right, you're right. Obviously, I'm just making it up. Which, by the way, Destiny is a terrible game because I clearly shot him through a wall. I clearly hit him through the wall. I used to be like, wow, I'm so cool. I know how to bend bullets because I used to always if you do a swipe shot, when someone's near a door, you can get headshots on them when they're behind a wall. But that's not because you're bending the bullet. It's just because aim assist cones are broken in Destiny.
Well, that and network latency and stuff.
Yeah.
That's where the peeker's advantage comes in.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta get people to peek, right?
Otherwise
everyone's gonna just turtle up, and it gets really boring. So
yeah,
they still turtle up anyway. Provoker.
So what's your schedule these days, Bill?
So my stream schedule is during the week. I usually do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday about between 6 and 7. I do a Warzone stream. Thank you. Fully charged. Thank you. I do a Warzone stream on Wednesday at 5 for a couple hours. Saturdays are kind of hit and miss depending on what I have going. Like if I have this early, then I have to be somewhere in about an hour and do some other stuff during the day. So I'll probably be on later, but it's sort of like hit and miss. I would say follow me on Twitter @LearningBill to find out when I'm going live, and also to turn notifications.
Yep, exactly. Big brain.
Yep.
Yeah, and I do tell people that I'm on Twitter constantly. So everyone needs to reach me. First of all, I'm on Twitter, but then if they want to know when I'm going live or when I've uploaded a video, I always post both for either thing. So
got it.
yeah, if you want to know anything that's happening with me, Twitter is probably the place.
Time to nut up or
If you
shut
don't
up.
like Twitter, then you can just whatever sub on YouTube, follow on Twitch, and you'll see me there.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well, I'm doing streaming. We changed our schedule recently, so it's now 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. right now, which is pretty late.
Nice. Yeah, that's the scheduling I used to do. I used to stream mega late. Mega late.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
But it works for Phasmophobia, I guess. It's the spooky hours.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you still hit like certain, and it depends on where people live. Like,
Yeah. We get the Australians or whatever, I guess.
yeah, there's a lot of people where you hit them because they're in a different time zone if you stream at like nighttime. So
yeah, and also I'm trying to do more YouTube stuff. I just gotta get better at finding the time. Like I have one video that's uploaded, but I haven't like actually gone in and made a thumbnail for it yet, so I haven't posted it.
yeah, luckily for me, I've been on like that YouTube like grind for a bit, so it's not rough anymore in terms of like getting stuff done. It's not too like I'd say the hardest part these days is making sure I've made some content worth watching, because like
I hear that. I hear that.
Sometimes I just game and I don't stream and I don't record because I just want to chill out, but then you don't have content. So, or right now at Destiny, there's obviously a content drought, so like the kind of stuff I can produce is limited in that sense.
Right.
But that's what we have other games for,
Sure.
I know a lot of
Indeed.
Destiny obsessed people.
Wait, what do you mean
like
other
looking at
games?
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. So there are other games that aren't called Destiny 2? Show me
Yeah.
these games. I wish to play these games.
Yeah, although recently there actually hasn't been that many like new games. Like a lot of the new
Get
stuff
ready,
right
dude.
now is they're all BRs and stuff. So it's like, because like
We got new
the other top
consoles.
games that aren't like Destiny is like what, Apex, Warzone, and then they recently had Hyperscape, which has dropped.
There was that
Fortnite,
Amazon game that
obviously.
failed. I can't remember. What was the name?
Yeah, so I mean,
Game? I don't know.
a lot of the stuff these days it might be new, but it doesn't really feel that new.
Yeah.
So lately I've just been going back to old stuff.
Yeah. that's
Like
what
the other day I streamed, what was it? Sid Meier's Pirates, which is a game from original Xbox, the 2004 game, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's still a pretty fun game. Like
that on
the
Steam?
graphics don't hold up, but everything else has held up
Yeah, yeah.
pretty well.
Have you played Sea of Thieves? Very different game. But
Yeah, I played Sea of Thieves, but I haven't played in like months, like 6 months or something. So it's obviously a lot different now because they've been doing a lot of updates.
yeah, I played very little, but there's some people in our clan that like to play it. So
Yeah, it's a fun game. I like it
Yes.
genuinely. I think it's just fun. It's not like all these other games where they're like competitive or like whatever, like very story driven. Sea of Thieves is just have a good time, have fun with friends, like
exactly.
straight up, which is good. We need something like that every once in a while.
All right. Well, it is almost 1 o'clock. I'm getting hungry. Our stream is buffering like crazy, so I think we're probably gonna wrap it.
Yeah, I'm super hungry, dude.
I'm hungry as well. I must eat before I melt away.
But thank you all so much for
Yeah.
hanging out and joining us today.
No problem.
Much appreciated. Hope you all enjoyed it.
I appreciate the invite.
Yeah. I appreciate Bill helping me find some more people to have on, so it's great. It works out.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on.
Yeah.
Anytime.
We'll have you back soon, and I'll make sure to check out your YouTube stuff as well. So
Thanks, appreciate that.
yeah. All right.
Oh, little self plug here. Since today is Halloween and I'm not doing something because COVID and all that, I will be streaming today.
Okay.
Oh.
I have
In
kids,
costumes,
so I
'cause
won't
it's
be
Halloween.
trick-or-treating.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be streaming most of today, and I'll be in costumes, and I'll eventually be playing scary stuff at the end of the night, so I can hate myself.
Apparently, so you play VR stuff, right?
I've played a little, but it's not mine. It was my friend's, so I can't actually.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
Apparently, there's like an unofficially patch you can get for Alien Isolation and turn it into a VR game.
Ooh, that's a scary
Oh.
game.
Yeah, yeah. So
I thought about
Oh,
trying
man.
that. I was like, I don't know if I want to hate myself or not.
yeah, I'm gonna force myself, I think, to play scary stuff tonight, but I'm not gonna like it.
I like scary games. I enjoyed Alien Isolation. I don't know
I
if
like
can handle
them,
VR, though.
but I like watching them way more than I like playing them. That's the first thing. And then when it comes to playing them, I don't know if people want to watch me play them, or they like if I play the way I want to play, people aren't gonna want to watch it because I like to hide a lot. I hide and I run a lot. I do a lot of like I'm gonna approach this and be as safe as possible
That's
because
pretty
I'm
much
thinking
all
of this from a
Alien
perspective of I don't want to
Isolation.
die. But you know, I gotta get over it and just face my fears. Oh my god, I still need to beat Outlast.
You haven't beaten Outlast? Dude.
Yeah, it scared me too much for like a long time, and I eventually got over that. But then I just stopped playing it for one reason or another. I can't remember why.
The dude with the scissors?
There's a dude with scissors. Oh no. Oh no.
Okay,
The last thing I
how
saw was
about
a
that?
huge dude. Oh no. Alright. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright. Well, that's gonna be it. So thank everybody hanging out.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
yeah. See y'all later.
Y'all have a good day.
See you soon.